The campus beauty just had a massive blowout argument with me. But the very next day, I vanished. From that moment on, it was as if I had been erased from her life. Neither my classmates nor my teachers knew where I had gone. She even went to my house, only to find my entire family had moved away. Left with no other choice, she begged her father through tears to use his connections. She wanted him to call in every family favor, doing whatever it took to get the police to track down my identification records. But the news they received was chilling. There was no record of me at all. In that moment, Lin Qingxue had only one thought. The boy she loved was dead. For 3 long years, she lived convinced of that single idea. 3 years later, I finally returned after completing a top-secret national research mission. I found out Lin Qingxue was now a sophomore at Kyoto University. I wanted to make up for all the regrets of our high school days. Even though I could have been a professor at Tsinghua, I chose Kyoto University instead. I enrolled as a simple freshman at the bottom of the ladder. I walked toward the freshman reception desk for the business administration department. There she was, Lin Qingxue, sitting calmly behind the registration table. She just sat there in total silence. She was a magnet, drawing in every freshman passing by. Lin Qingxue really deserves her title as the #1 beauty. She's the undisputed goddess of Kyoto University. Just look at those new students. They can't even keep their eyes open when they see her. I bet by the time registration ends, half the school will be digging for her info. I told my friend, just let them be. I'm not interested in dating any of them anyway. I'd much rather go to the shores of Lake Beimin with you to catch the night breeze. Hitting the snack street at night is way more romantic than falling in love. But as soon as those words left my mouth, the light in Lin Qingxue's eyes suddenly dimmed. Walking by the lake together, grabbing a bite to eat, eating barbecue at the stalls outside the north gate, spending hours reading in the school library, skipping class just to watch him play in the school basketball game. Those were all the promises she had made to that boy back then. It's a shame that now, on this massive campus, among the endless crowds of students coming and going, she might find eyes like his or a nose like his, but never him. I might even hear a voice that sounds like his, but none of them are him. Li Qian noticed the shadow crossing Lin Qingxue's face and felt a pang of nerves. You're not still thinking about that boyfriend who died 3 years ago, are you? Lin Qingxue's roommates knew the basic outline of her tragic story. High school puppy love, a secret crush, a spark that never got to fly. Everyone goes through something like that in their youth. But even if you mourn for 3 years, that time is gone now. Why not try making a fresh start? Lin Qingxue saw right through Li Qian's concern and forced a carefree smile. It's not that I can't forget him, I told her. It's just that I haven't found a reason to fall for anyone else yet. I took Li Qian's hand to change the subject. All right, stop standing there like a statue. The freshmen should be flooding through the gates by now. Why don't you go down there and welcome them? Maybe our department will get lucky this year. Maybe a handsome guy will actually catch your eye for once. Li Qian laughed, took the bait, and hurried toward the school entrance. I watched her go and finally let out a long, heavy sigh. Thank you, I whispered to the empty air. It felt like I had drifted back to those old days. Falling asleep in math class, passing secret notes during literature, hand-copying song lyrics during my independent study hour. Back when even a 10-minute nap felt like the best dream in the world. A sudden breeze brushed past the trees. The summer wind ruffled the long hair at my temples. I lifted my head slightly, a trace of disappointment flickering across my face. How wonderful would it be if you were standing here right now? At the gates of Kyoto University, I stood holding a single book. I looked up at the towering entrance standing right in front of me. Inside my heart, a place usually numb to surprises, a small ripple stirred. My sudden departure back then, it must have hurt her so much. I took a long, deep breath and slowly started walking inside. After a few steps, I saw Li Qian wearing a volunteer armband. She was part of the welcoming committee and rushed over to me with a grin. Hey there, freshman. Which department are you in? I'm a volunteer for new student registration. I'll take you to sign in. I'm not really sure where the economics and management department is. I'll have to trouble you to lead the way, miss. No trouble at all. What a coincidence. I'm from that department too. Li Qian reached out her hand to grab my suitcase. Give it here. I'll take you. To get registered right now. I silently pulled the suitcase back before she could touch it. That's not necessary. The things inside are pretty heavy. I'll handle it myself. Li Qian wasn't shy at all. She just gave me a natural smile. Fair enough. Just follow me closely then. She began leading me deeper into the heart of the campus. We headed straight toward the registration area for new students. After a few paces, I looked at her and spoke up. Since you're a student in the economics department, I wanted to ask, do you know Lin Kingswood? Li Qian nodded instantly, a playful look dancing in her eyes. Of course I know her. Your sources are pretty good, kid. You just got here and already found the most beautiful girl in the faculty. Are you interested in our campus flower too? Lin and I went to the same high school, and it's because of her that I chose to come to Kyoto University's economics department. Li Qian looked a bit surprised. She quickly gave me a look that said, I get it. Came here for her fame, did you? Kids these days are something else, but you're from the same high school. You must have heard of Lin's legendary feats. I was a bit stunned. In my memory, Lin Kingswood was always just a top student in high school. Aside from titles like School Flower or the Brainiac, I really don't know what else Lin Kingswood has done. Does coming in second place every single time count? Because back then, I was the one in first place. Suddenly, the phone inside my pocket began to ring. I gave Li Qian an apologetic look, said sorry, and answered the call. Professor Liu, it's Xiao Yu. Professor Liu is a faculty member at Kyoto University. He's a national authority on microelectronics and the Dean of Information. He runs the university's research, and for the last 3 years, I've been at the research base because of my own expertise. I've won over 1,000 prestigious professors and experts across the country. I've mastered multiple professional fields, and I've built up a massive network of high-level contacts along the way. A cheerful, middle-aged voice came through the phone. Chief Engineer Chu, I am so incredibly sorry. The original plan was for me to meet you at the gates and handle your registration, but a project hit a snag. I have to go and help out immediately. So I'm not in Kyoto right now. I'm sorry, but the higher-ups project comes first. It's fine, I replied. I've already handled the registration process myself. I still don't understand it, though, the professor continued. With your level of research expertise, you could easily replace any PhD student we have. Why do you suddenly want to attend university as a student? Chief Engineer Chu, I'm telling you the same thing I always do. I want you to be clear on this. I can notify the board right now to make you an honorary professor at Kyoto University. If you want to teach, we can even open an entire department specifically for your classes. I can personally guarantee it. The way we'll treat you here is guaranteed to be better than anything at Tsinghua University next door. Back when I was at the research base, I was the golden boy in the eyes of every department dean, but I only cared about one thing, the research. Lithography was my life, so those deans never even got the chance to pitch me their ideas. Now that the project is over, my achievements alone should earn me a seat at the Chinese Academy of Sciences. A scholar this young is a prize that every institution would kill to snatch up. And now, I've finally come to Kyoto University. Naturally, they won't let me slip through their fingers again, but we can talk about that later. I just want to rest for a while, and I'm about to finish my registration here anyway. I told the professor not to worry since he was busy, and he finally agreed to let me go. Even though I'm not on campus right now. If you have any problems at all, just call me directly. Understood, I said. When you get back to Kyoto, I'll definitely pay you a visit. I hung up the phone and finally reached the freshman registration desk. I looked around the area. I noticed that Lin Kingsway, who was supposed to be at the reception, had suddenly vanished. I quickly walked up to the others and asked, "Where's Kingsway?" I brought her a book. She was a fellow student from my hometown and the undisputed campus beauty. One of the guys replied, "Lin said it was way too hot out here. She said standing out here all day was way too exhausting. She offered to buy us all milk tea, so she must have gone to get it." Lillian looked a little disappointed by the news. She turned to me and said, "I'm sorry, Junior. It looks like your senior sister had some urgent business to attend to. You won't be able to see her right now." I just nodded with a faint, calm smile. It didn't matter. The future is long, and there will always be a chance. I asked them, "Which class are you in?" "Class 1, Economics and Management." The guy laughed and said, "Then it really doesn't matter. Lin and I are actually the student assistants for your specific class. Tomorrow, when the class meets the new students, you'll see her then. For now, just get yourself registered." I gave a small nod and walked over to the registration table for the Faculty of Science. I pulled out my admission letter to verify my information for Economics and Management. I scanned the list of new students until I found my name. There it was, right at the top. Everything was in order. I picked up my dormitory keys and my new student ID card. Just then, an older student walked up to me and said, "Hey, rookie, got everything? I'll take you to your dorm first. Drop your luggage off in the room before anything else. Then you can head to the dorm office to pick up your bedding and daily supplies." I gave a slight nod and followed the sophomore student toward the dorms. I headed toward the Economics and Management male dormitories, leaving the scene behind. Shortly after I left, Lin arrived at the faculty building with someone else in tow. Lillian, who was still registering new students, immediately rushed over to her. Lin, you just missed him. I'm telling you, a super handsome, elegant guy just joined our department, and he's from your high school. Looking at him, I'd bet anything that he definitely came here just for you." Lin gave a helpless, weary smile. "Shut up, I'm not even thinking about a relationship right now. I didn't say you had to date him, did I? But he's from your hometown, a direct junior from your old school. You should take care of him. Besides, he's in class 1. You'll see him at the welcome meeting tomorrow. His name is Chu Xiao. Sound familiar?" As soon as Lillian said that name, the air seemed to freeze. Lin's heart skipped a beat, her pulse slowing to a crawl. Even her voice began to tremble as she asked, What did you say his name was?" "His name is Chu Xiao. Is there a problem?" Lin shook her head, a trace of disappointment in her eyes. Her voice was laced with a sudden, sharp anxiety as she said, "No, it's nothing." "Which way did he go just now?" Lillian pointed in the direction where I had disappeared. Lin fixed her gaze on that distant path. The backs of me and the sophomore student were just visible, vanishing into a small alleyway in the distance. In that split second, Lin felt her breath hitch. She felt as if she had truly seen that young man's back again. But then, she quickly shook her head to clear her mind. "Impossible," she whispered to herself. "It must just be a coincidence, a shared name." She thought back to that summer vacation 3 years ago. We had a fight, and I told her I would never pay attention to her again. Usually, after cooling off for a couple of days, I would always be the one to send her a message first. But from that day on, I seemed to have vanished from her life entirely. Neither her classmates nor her teachers knew where I had gone. Not only had my family moved away, but even the records at the station were a dead end. My ID information had been completely wiped from the police records. Back then, a dark thought had taken root in Lynn's mind. She convinced herself that I was dead. For 3 years, she had accepted that as the absolute truth. She clung to that idea so firmly that, in her mind, the person she just saw couldn't possibly be me. She told herself it was just a coincidence, a shared name, and a similar build. Trembling, Lynn finally regained her composure. She pulled back her foot, suppressing the urge to chase after me. Meanwhile, the sophomore student led me to the dormitory building. He dropped me off and headed out. I checked the room number engraved on my key. I unlocked the door to the place I'd call home for my college years. Before long, the other 2 roommates arrived. The 4 of us decided to rank ourselves by birth order. Su Pengfei was the oldest, Sang Minyan was second, and I was third. Wang Lei was the youngest of the group. It wasn't easy for all of us to gather here from different parts of the country. I'm from Kyoto and know the area well, so dinner is on me tonight, Pengfei said. He waved his hand dismissively at our protests, insisting we go out together. There's no need to pay for everyone, Sang Minyan cut in. We should all just pay for our own meals. But since you know the area, you pick the spot. Wang Lei and I both nodded, smiling at the suggestion. Right then, Wang Lei's phone let out a sharp chime. He quickly looked down to check the notification. Then, he held his phone up for all of us to see. He looked at us with wide eyes. Brothers, have you joined the class group chat yet? The counselor just made it, and the first announcement is huge. Our class assistant this year is Lin Kingsway. Su Pengfei was the first to react, shouting, "Wait, seriously? Do you guys even know who Lin Kingsway is?" I couldn't believe it. Lin was going to be our class assistant. I raised an eyebrow, feeling a strange twist of fate. I already knew she was famous at Kyoto University, but this was unexpected. Sang Minyan finished reading the group messages and let out a long sigh. It's a shame that the #1 beauty in Kyoto is still mourning. Everyone knows she's still hung up on her boyfriend who died 3 years ago. If she weren't so heartbroken, I'd definitely try to make her mine. My heart skipped a beat as I looked up and asked for more details. An ex-boyfriend from 3 years ago. Lin Kingsway had a boyfriend back then. Sang Minyan nodded repeatedly, his face lighting up with the thrill of gossip. He looked like he was about to drop the biggest secret on campus. According to the unofficial intel I've gathered, Lin's ex was her desk mate during their first year of high school, but he died in an accident. It's a tragedy. If they had just broken up, she'd be over it, but you can't compete with a dead man. I bet she'll never be able to forget that high school boyfriend for the rest of her life. I froze for a second, my mind racing. Her desk mate in the first year of high school? I remember that year clearly, and I was the one sitting right next to her. When exactly did I become her dead ex-boyfriend? I'll admit, back then I definitely had feelings for her. But before I could even make a move, I was whisked away for that top-secret research project. What on earth happened during the 3 years I was gone? I had to get answers. I stood up so abruptly that my chair screeched against the floor, startling everyone in the room. I couldn't exactly tell them I was the dead boyfriend they were gossiping about. My sudden movement instantly drew the attention of my 3 roommates. Su Pengfei looked at me, confused, and asked, "Whoa, where are you going in such a hurry?" I had to think fast to cover my tracks. I just remembered I still need to go buy some daily essentials at the campus store. So, I'm planning to head to the supermarket near campus to pick up a few things. I definitely can't tell them I'm the guy they're talking about. The ex-boyfriend, who supposedly died 3 years ago. Su Pengfei jumped up and said, "The school supplies aren't enough. I need to buy stuff too." I figured we might as well go together. It's been 3 years. What's one more day? Registration was in the afternoon, so the 4 of us headed to the store. We stocked up on every daily essential we needed for the dorm. By the time we got back and dropped everything off, the sun was setting. The day was almost over. Once the 4 of us finished cleaning up, we took a breather. I looked at my new roommates and checked the time. I suggested we go take a walk around the university grounds. It was the perfect time to explore the campus. And while we're at it, we can grab dinner together. Su Pengfei agreed immediately, saying, "Fine by me, just give me a second. I need to dry my hair so I don't look like a mess for the ladies." He gave us a serious look and warned us to put in some effort. Kyoto University has way hotter girls than Whacking University next door, so dress sharp. Who knows, maybe a beautiful girl will actually notice you losers. Su Pengfei's eyes lit up instantly at the thought of a campus romance. "Wait, really? You should have said so sooner. I'm going to change my clothes." Wandali's expression shifted instantly. He turned and shouted towards San Minyan. "Brother, I honestly don't know how to style my hair. Can you help me out?" The corner of my mouth twitched at the sight. But slowly, a genuine smile reached my eyes. Maybe this is what it feels like to be young again. I looked at my reflection in the dark screen of my phone and thought, still handsome, no problem there. Meanwhile, over at the girls' dormitory, Lijin smiled and walked over to Lin Kingsway. "Kingsway, what should we eat?" "See you tonight. Let's just head to the cafeteria. I heard the new dish on the first floor, the braised fermented tofu with pork, isn't half bad." "You just got to school and you're already heading straight for the cafeteria?" "I've been busy all day long. Why don't we take a walk by the north gate instead? We can see what's good there and pick up some fruit on the way back." Lin Kingsway immediately shot her a look of pure contempt. "I see what's going on. You just want to go out and scout the new freshmen, don't you?" Lin Qingzhu turned her head and glanced at her other 2 roommates. Hey guys, do you want to head out for a walk together? Both of them nodded immediately in agreement. Lin Qingshui looked up at Li Qian with a smile. It feels like a lifetime since the four of us actually hung out. Then let's move. The four girls from dorm 319 finished getting ready in record time. They practically flew out of the girls' dormitory. They were making a beeline for the snack street at the north gate, the absolute heart of the campus food scene. At almost the exact same moment, my roommates and I were also making our way out of the building. Thanks, man. We reached the north gate, and Sang Minjan shoved his hands into his pockets. Brothers, behold the north gate. This is the legendary Kyoto University snack street. The barbecue here is elite. Take your pick. Then he turned his gaze toward me. Old third, which one looks good to you? Give it a look. I didn't overthink it and pointed at the nearest grill. Let's go with this one. Sang Minjan didn't waste a second and started leading the way. Let's move, brothers. Meanwhile, Li Qian grabbed Lin Qingshui by the arm. She scanned the street, looking for the best spot. She turned to Lin Qingshui and the others. So, which place are we hitting up? The other two roommates just shrugged, fine with whatever. Li Qian turned her gaze back to Lin Qingshui for the final call. Lin Qingshui looked up, her eyes scanning the crowd at random. Suddenly, her entire body froze. Right there, outside the barbecue shop, I was standing with Su Pengfei and the guys. She saw me the exact moment I stepped inside the restaurant. In that instant, Lin Qingshui felt her mind go completely blank. Her eyes were locked onto the shop I had just entered. She held her breath, paralyzed by the shock of what she saw. The resemblance was too much. It wasn't just a blurry silhouette like this morning. It felt like she was looking at a boy who was the spitting image of Xiaoyu. Lin Qingshui felt like the air had been sucked right out of her lungs. Li Qian noticed her spacing out and shook her wrist a few times. Qingshui, hello? What are you staring at? Lin Qingshui finally snapped out of it and looked back at her friends. Let's have barbecue. It's the perfect combo with drinks in the summer. Li Qian and the others had no objections, so Lin Qingshui led the way. She walked slowly toward the exact same barbecue shop I had just entered. With every step she took, her heart rate spiked a little higher. Could two people in this world really look that much alike? Or was it that Lin Qingshui's heart, which had been dead for 3 years, was mysteriously starting to come back to life? Whether it was a shred of hope or just a vain delusion, she didn't care. She had to see this boy who looked exactly like the Xiaoyu she remembered. Meanwhile, Sang Minjan and the guys found a booth and sat down. I took the menu and flipped through it a couple of times. I looked at the guys and said, I'm hitting the restroom, order whatever you want. At the same time, Lin Qingshui and Li Qian arrived at the shop. They found a corner table and took their seats. After asking the owner for a menu, Lin Qingshui turned to her friends. Order for me. I think I saw someone I know, so I'm going to say hi. Who is it? Li Qian teased. Is it that handsome guy from earlier? Just go already. Lin Qingshui brushed her off. And make sure you order the food. She stood up and scanned the restaurant, her eyes darting through the crowd. But every face she saw was a complete stranger. Her expression suddenly slumped into disappointment, but she took a deep breath and pushed forward. She began opening the doors to every private booth in the restaurant, one by one. Finally, Lin Qingshui reached the door to the booth where Sang Minjan and the guys were sitting. She stepped inside and scanned the room. Sang Minjan and the others nearly jumped out of their seats, shouting, Hey Lin! Lin Qingshui gave them an awkward, forced smile. Then her eyes drifted to the table, noticing 4 sets of utensils laid out. Curiosity got the better of her, and she asked, Are you guys waiting for someone else? Yeah, our third brother just stepped out to the restroom, they replied. Lin Qingshui nodded, looking at them with an apologetic expression. I'm so sorry. I thought I saw someone I knew, but I must have the wrong booth. She quickly backed out of the room, but the moment she turned around, she spotted the back of a boy wearing a white short-sleeved t-shirt. Her heart rate spiked instantly, thumping against her chest. She took one more deep breath and slowly walked up behind him. She reached out and quickly tapped him on the shoulder. The boy spun around, and when he saw it was Lin Qingshui, his eyes lit up as he asked, Lin, did you need something from me? The look on Lin Qingshui's face froze instantly. I'm sorry, she whispered. I have the wrong person. I got the wrong person. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Lin Qingshui apologized over and over, her voice trembling. She finally walked back to Li Qian and the others, looking completely dazed. What's wrong with you? They asked. You went for a walk and came back looking like you lost your soul. It's nothing, she replied. It's our first barbecue together this semester. I'll toast first. She poured herself a full glass of soda. Lin Qingshui tilted her head back and downed the entire thing in one go. Meanwhile, I slowly stepped out of the restroom. I didn't even glance at the main hall as I opened the door to our private booth. The table was already covered in ice-cold drinks. The moment I walked in, Su Pengfei, Wang Lei, and Sang Minjan all started grinning. Third brother, you took forever in there. We've been waiting for you. Come on, let's celebrate us all getting together from every corner of the country. I didn't hesitate and took my seat at the table. I immediately picked up the glass of soda waiting for me. Half an hour passed as we ate and drank our fill. Sang Minjan raised his glass and looked at the group with a smirk. Listen up, brothers. Lin Qingshui, Senpai Lin, is actually eating at this very restaurant. What do you say? Should we go out and offer her a drink? After all, she's our future assistant counselor for military training. Wait, did Lin Qingshui just come by here? You were in the bathroom just a second ago. Senpai Lin probably got the wrong room and stepped into our booth for a moment. I saw her when I went to the restroom earlier. She and her roommates were still drinking soda outside. Yeah, I saw her too. You have to admit, Senpai Lin is definitely the #1 beauty at Kyoto University. Even just drinking soda, she looks so full of life. Hearing this, I frowned slightly. Drinking soda? I remembered the Lin Qingshui from before. She wouldn't touch a single drop of it. Suddenly, the sound of a chair scraping against the floor cut through the air. I stood up from my seat instantly. Su Pengfei and the others looked at me immediately. Old third, where are you going? I'm heading out for a moment. You guys keep drinking. After saying that, I pulled open the door to the private booth. I stepped out into the main hall. Looking around, I quickly spotted Lin Qingshui drinking soda nonstop. At the table, Li Qian and 2 other roommates were watching her with worried eyes. Qingshui, stop drinking. Look, you've already had way too much. Lin Qingshui's gaze was already starting to blur. The hand holding her soda glass trembled slightly, her face flushed deep red. Right then, appearing suddenly right in front of her, was a face. The face she was obsessed with. Even if I looked a bit blurry to her, Lin Qingshui was certain it was me. I reached out and snatched the glass of soda right out of her hand. I didn't hesitate for a second. I downed the whole thing in one gulp and told her, don't drink anymore. Little brother, is that you? Li Qian asked, looking at me in shock. Li Qian pointed toward the floor at 7 or 8 empty soda bottles. Our campus flower, Lin, drank every single one of these. She had clearly overdone it, and Lin Qingshui looked up at me instantly. 2 tears immediately spilled from her reddened eyes. I haven't had too much. Xiao Yu, is it really you? Xiao Yu, you finally showed up. Lin Qingshui threw her arms around me, hugging me tightly as I stood there. I promise I'll never argue with you again. Just don't disappear like that anymore, okay? My expression was complicated as I looked down at her. I reached out gently and patted Lin Qingshui's trembling shoulder. I looked at Li Qian and asked, Senior, where is her dorm? I'll help you take her back. Li Qian froze for a second before her face lit up with excitement. Right, we can't exactly drag her back ourselves. I'm counting on you then, little brother. No problem, I said, reaching down and wrapping my arm around Lin Qingshui's waist. I lifted her up in a perfect bridal carry. I pulled her from the chair and held her securely against my chest. Then, with a steady stride, I slowly walked away from the barbecue area. Inside the private booth, Su Pengfei and the others poked their heads out curiously. They watched me carry Lin Qingshui away, their jaws hitting the floor at the sudden move. Just moments ago, they were debating whether to go over and offer her a drink. Now things had escalated completely out of control, and they had no idea why. Back in the dorms, Lin Qingshui's other 2 roommates were just as baffled. In the year she had been at this university, the guys who had courted her included heirs with luxury cars and wealthy entrepreneurs from off-campus, but she had rejected every single one. On campus, she treated every guy with the same cold indifference. How could this freshman just walk up and have her throw herself at him? Li Qian was stunned too, realizing there was definitely some history between us. But as far as she knew, Lin Qingshui only ever had a story with one guy. The ex-boyfriend who died 3 years ago. Was she thinking of him? Liquian no puto evitar sentir un escalafrio. ¿Acaso es una armadura de resurrección? Pero en este momento, no tenía cabeza para pensar en demasiados problemas. Rapidamente corrió a la caja registradora de la barbacoa. Pagó la cuenta. Y, junto con las otras 2 compañeras de dormitorio, me siguió. Fuera de la barbacoa, muchos estudiantes. La Universidad de Kyoto iban y venían por la calle. En el momento en que me marqué de la barbacoa con Lincoln Su en brazos, al instante traje a muchos estudiantes. La mirada de Lincoln Su me dio un gran respiro. De las hermanas, miren, un abrazo de princesa. Están grabando una serie de ídolos. Este chico es muy guapo. Sobre todo, que largas son sus piernas. Me encantaría ser la chica que está en sus brazos. Innumerables chicas gritaron asombradas, cubriéndose la boca. Pero también había bastantes chicos de ojos agudos, que dieron claramente a Lincoln Su en mis brazos. Y inmediatamente exclamaron, Madre mía, no es Ellen Kingsway, la chica de segundo año, en los brazos de ese chico? Suelta mi diosa, déjame intentarlo. Lin Qingshui abrió los ojos aterrada. Y me miró fijamente a corta distancia. Sus manos inmediatamente rodearon mi cuello. Y toda ella se aferró a mí como una ardilla a un árbol. Se aferró a mi cuerpo. She whispered softly, her breath as sweet as an orchid. Xiao Yu, is it really you? You're finally back. Promise me you won't leave again. Please, just promise me. I swear I'll never argue with you ever again. I couldn't help but look down at Lin Qingshui in my arms. A look of pure affection softened my eyes. I promise, I'm never leaving you again. Lin Qingshui heard my words. A smile immediately spread across her face. She whined like a spoiled child. So it's a promise? You can never leave me again. If anyone disappears without a word again, they're a little puppy. I promise, whoever disappears again is a little puppy. Lin Qingshui finally calmed down, curling into my chest and drifting off to sleep. I turned to Li Qian. Is she always like this after drinking soda? Li Qian shook her head vigorously. No, not at all. Even when we hang out in the dorm and have some drinks. Qing Shui always drinks in moderation. She's never been drunk. This is the first time we've seen her like this. She's usually so distant. I never expected her to act like such a little girl after a few drinks. The other two girls standing beside me nodded in agreement. I gave a slight nod and then looked over at Li Qian and the others. They all had their phones out in their hands. I was a bit confused. Were they actually recording this? Li Qian's expression shifted as she gave me an awkward smile. We're just capturing the moment, recording how she acts when she's drunk. When she wakes up tomorrow, we'll send it to her so she can see for herself. It's the best way to help her remember exactly what happened tonight. I shrugged. Take photos if you want, just make sure I look good. I agreed, but I had barely taken 2 steps when they stopped me. Li Qian looked at me with that intense curiosity again. Hey, little brother. You aren't actually that dead ex-boyfriend from 3 years ago she talks about, are you? I paused and reflected for a few seconds. If I'm not mistaken, that should be me. The entire group looked instantly confused. Then why does she keep saying that you? I interrupted her and looked down at Lin Qingshui in my arms. You mean why she says I've been dead for 3 years, right? To be honest, I'm also very curious why she thinks I've been dead all this time. Following Li Qian's lead, I carried Lin Qingshui to the entrance of the girls' dormitory. Only then did I carefully set her down from my arms. I looked at Li Qian and the others and said, please, take good care of her tonight. No problem at all, they replied. The group of them worked together to lift Lin Qingshui up. Slowly, they began walking back into the dorm building. I waited until they had completely disappeared from my sight. Finally, I turned and walked away from the girls' dormitory entrance. When I got back to the barbecue restaurant, Su Pengfei and the others were still sitting obediently in the booth. The moment they saw me walk through the door, all 3 of them stood up in unison. One of them rushed to pull out a chair for me. Another started clearing a clean spot for me on the table. The third one brought over hot skewers and a fresh bottle of soda. Once I sat down, the 3 of them lined up and returned to their seats. They looked like a panel of judges, staring at me with faces full of gossip. All right, number 3, start talking. What's the deal? It's only the first day of university and you didn't say a word. How did you already conquer the most beautiful flower at Kyoto University? I looked at them helplessly and said, conquer? I've known her since high school. I just heard she was outside and went over to say hello. I didn't expect her to drink so much, so I just helped her back to the dorm. Su Pengfei looked at me with pure disbelief and asked, can you say that with a straight face? Number 3, don't think we're blind. Since when do normal friends need a princess carried to the dorm? Were her roommates just there for decoration? Besides, I saw it clearly. The Kyoto University flower was the one who practically threw herself at you. Wang Lei's eyes lit up as he leaned in and whispered, number 3, you aren't that ex-boyfriend from 3 years ago she talks about, the one who's supposedly dead, right? You two broke up 3 years ago, and you're the one who broke her heart. And because her love turned into hate, she's been telling everyone you're dead. Back inside the Kyoto University dorm, Su Pengfei, Wang Lei, and Zhang Mingjian surrounded me. Number 3, I get it now. You're a real piece of work, seducing her and then dumping her. How could you just abandon our school flower like that? No wonder she said you were dead. If that's the case, you're in trouble. During the next 2 weeks of military training, that school flower, Lin Qingshui, is going to be our assistant counselor. Good luck with that. Wang Lei patted my shoulder, his face a mask of mock concern. You better settle this business, and fast. I couldn't help but let out a short laugh at their wild theories. Stop guessing nonsense. I haven't done anything to hurt her. Besides, we aren't a couple. As far as I know, she never even had a boyfriend in high school. I see. So that dead ex-boyfriend from 3 years ago, he's just a total invention by our Kyoto campus flower. She's using a non-existent ghost as a shield, which means I might actually have a chance. Su Pengfei shot Zhang Mingjian a look of pure contempt. He waved him off and said, get out of here with those fantasies. I swear on my sharp sixth sense, there is definitely some hidden history between number 3 and our Lin Qingshui. Suddenly, the 3 of them turned back to me, and Su Pengfei clasped his hands together. With an expectant look, he begged, big brother, please, give us the gossip. I sighed helplessly and looked at the 3 of them with a sincere expression. I told them, we were never together, there was no messy breakup, just a normal classmate relationship. So you're saying I don't need to worry? Do you really not have even a single clue what's going on? I stayed silent for a moment and then simply said, yes. Meanwhile, at a massive aerospace engine research base in northern Mo, the atmosphere inside the conference room was grim. A middle-aged man who looked barely 70, but with hair turned completely white, stood there dressed in a crisp white lab coat. He was staring intensely at a stack of top-secret design blueprints. He looked almost desperate. This was Professor Liu, the man I had spoken with on the phone earlier. Beside him stood Yi Xianghua, the deputy dean from Kyoto University, right on the conference platform. He looked out at the group of research academics below the stage with a solemn expression. In a serious tone, he asked, gentlemen, regarding the flight test failure, does anyone have any ideas? Has the core problem been identified yet? One researcher stood up and said, the test results are ready, and there are several areas where issues surfaced. First, it's still the turbine blades. Their precision still shows a slight deviation from the specs. The entire room fell into a heavy, silent listen as the list went on. They waited until the report finally came to an end. Yi Xianghua let out a cold, sharp snort of frustration. He slammed the report down onto the table with pure fury, setting everything else aside. How many times have we tested the turbine blade precision? It still isn't hitting the standard. Those group companies supplying the materials, what are they actually trying to pull? Do they honestly expect us to just go back and change the blueprints? He knew other scientific research bases were breathing down their necks. Bases that had started their projects at the exact same time as this one. Some of them had already manufactured engines for fifth-generation transport planes. They had successfully built several different vehicle models by now. Both manned and unmanned aircraft were already rolling off the lines. Missiles too. But their research on aerospace fighter engines has consumed 10 whole years. And now, during the flight tests, this was the only result they had to show for it. Professor Liu Yong looked up at Yi Xianghua, his voice firm. Chief Engineer Yi, I know someone who might be able to help us solve this. That person he was talking about was me, the one who handled the lithography machine research. That scientific research base had faced countless problems back then too. But those problems, once they reached my hands, were resolved almost instantly. In a way, I had become the core of the entire control system, at least to the researchers who worked on the lithography project with me. To them, my status was practically on the same level as a god. A total myth. Besides, Liu Yong hadn't stopped discussing aerospace engine designs with me either. I had my own unique ideas on the subject. He believed that if I showed up, I could definitely fix this mess. Yi Xianghua immediately turned his gaze toward Liu Yong, a flicker of hope in his eyes. You're saying there's someone who can actually solve this problem? Liu Yong spoke with total gravity, repeating my words. He was talking about me, Chu Xiao. Everyone in the conference room started whispering under their breath. Who is Chu Xiao? What's his field of expertise? How is it that I've never heard that name in this country before? Is there really an expert named Chu Xiao in aerospace research? Chief Engineer Yi is the vice president of the Academy of Sciences, and even he isn't sure he can solve this. If this Chu Xiao guy comes, can he really help us fix the problem? It didn't matter what research projects these people were involved in. The project I was responsible for was classified at an ultra-secret level. Not to mention my current identity, it's absolute SSS level top secret in this country. So the people present basically had no way of knowing my name yet. Yi Xianghua's expression shifted as he looked at Liu Yong and asked, Is this Chu Xiao the chief designer of your project? As the vice president of the Academy of Sciences, his intel was still pretty sharp. Back when they nominated me as a senior academician, these elders of the Academy even held a joint meeting. They already had a certain understanding of what I had achieved. Can you actually get him to come here? As far as I know, that kid isn't exactly being productive right now. Didn't he go off to study at Kyoto University? That's right, they thought I was slacking, but these old men knew my scientific talent. In 3 years, I built a 1-nanometer lithography machine from nothing, putting China's chips at the top of the world. He even wanted to keep this kid locked in the research base 24 hours a day. I can't guarantee he'll come, Liu Yong said, but we have to try. Then give it a shot, Yi replied. Exactly. I'd also like to meet this interesting young man. We're all just getting old. The future of China's scientific research must eventually be handed to the youth. The next morning, I was back at the dorm. I started packing my bag. I spoke to Liu Yong on the other end of the line. I gave him my final answer. No problem. I'll book the earliest flight and should be there by tonight. I hung up the phone. My roommate, Su Penfei, sat up in bed. He scratched the back of his head, looking half asleep and dazed. He watched me stuffing my luggage, looking completely confused. Hey, number 3, why are you packing so early in the morning? Family business, I said. I need to head home for a bit. In reality, I had just finished that call with Liu Yong. He wanted me to consult on the design of a new copper engine. It was for the 7th-generation aerospace fighter research project. I didn't strictly need to participate, but I understood the urgency. I knew that once I dedicated myself to research, I would no longer belong to myself. It was just like a few months ago when I finished that project at the base. I was ready to throw myself back into the work. I wanted to use technology to serve my country and fight for it my entire life. Some things simply have to be done by someone. Su Pengfei woke up instantly at my words. His eyes widened as he asked, Wait, you're leaving? What about military training? I told him, I've already contacted the school about it. Su Pengfei looked like he was starting to understand. Then he asked, So if you talk to them, you just don't have to show up? How long are you even going to be gone? I shrugged. If it's fast, a week. If not, I'll be back when your training ends. Since I was only there for consulting, I didn't need to stay for the long haul. 2 weeks at the most would be plenty of time to finish the main planning. No way, he said. You're just leaving to ditch the military drills, aren't you? Leaving so suddenly. Did you even say goodbye to the school beauty, Lin? I stopped packing instantly. Meanwhile, over at the girls' dormitory, the early morning sun was streaming through the window and onto the floor. Lin Qingshui rubbed her aching forehead, nursing a slight headache. She stretched lazily and called out to Li Qian, who was already up. Xiao Qianqian, what time is it? 7 o'clock. It's still early. Lin Qingshui scrambled out of bed immediately. She rubbed her sleepy eyes, trying to clear the fog. I'm done sleeping. Was I drunk last night? I have these vague memories. I think I was hugging someone. Li Qian burst out laughing at that. Wow, and here I thought you'd completely lost your memory. Li Qian pulled out her phone with a mischievous grin. She pulled up the video she had recorded the night before. How about this? Do you want your sister here to help you remember? You actually recorded a video. I'm seriously impressed by your dedication. Li Qian handed the phone over to Lin Qingshui. See for yourself. Do you remember the person who carried you? Lin Qingshui grabbed the phone, but as soon as she saw the screen, she froze. She stood there, completely stunned by what she was seeing. The video showed the exact moment I was carrying her back to school in my arms. The video even captured the exact words I said. I want to record this. Make sure you get my good side. In an instant, a flood of memories rushed back to her. Every detail of the night before filled her mind. One drop, then two. The tears started falling. They streamed uncontrollably down Lin Qingshui's face. She clutched the phone as if she were afraid the image would vanish. After watching the video once, she stared at Li Qian with wide eyes. She asked anxiously, "Who is he? How do you know Xiaoyu? Where is he now?" "He's a freshman in the economics department. He showed up after you got drunk last night, and then you practically threw yourself into his arms. So he carried you all the way back here." "Qingshui, is he the boyfriend you mentioned? The one who died 3 years ago? I have to go find him." Lin Qingshui didn't even look at her. She didn't bother answering the question. Li Qian's words were left hanging in the air. She threw on her clothes as fast as she could, moving with frantic speed. She bolted out of the dormitory. Li Qian shouted after her, "Hey, you're in such a rush. Do you even know where his room is?" People were coming and going through the doors of the boys' dormitory, but the crowd wasn't too thick yet. I was walking slowly along the path out front, heading to the cafeteria for breakfast. Suddenly, Lin Qingshui's trembling voice reached my ears. "Xiaoyu, Xiaoyu." I snapped my head up and looked at her. The tears on Lin Qingshui's face had already dried into streaks. She stopped right in front of me, just staring at me like that. 3 years have passed, and my face hasn't really changed much. But it seems I've grown quite a bit taller since then. The boyish immaturity has faded from my eyes, replaced by a calm stability. My temperament is the same. Back then, she always thought I was too old-fashioned. She used to find the serious way I spoke hilarious, like I was some old scholar. And I still am. I still carry that scholarly air about me. Even in the simplest, most modest clothes, I still look refined and gentle. Lin Qingshui had already seen me once in that video. But now that we were standing face to face, she felt like her heart was going to stop beating entirely. A dead silence fell between the two of us. Neither of us spoke first. I could see her curiosity and her doubts swirling together. And then, there was the resentment. She hated that I left back then without saying a single word, even if we were never officially together. Don't friends at least deserve a goodbye? I stood there, frozen in place. I stared at Lin Qingshui for a long time. She looks exactly the same as she did 3 years ago. She's just as beautiful as ever. Honestly, when I left the research base, I had already rehearsed several ways to greet her. "It's been 3 years. Do you have a boyfriend? How have you been? Congratulations on finally getting into Kyoto University." But now that she's here, I don't actually know how to face her. 3 years ago, I inherited the legacy of a super advanced civilization, the treasury of eternal knowledge. With my current level of understanding, I still can't fully grasp the concept of it, but it exists there, deep inside my brain. It was through studying the contents of that treasury that I finally developed the 1 nanometer lithography machine technology. And that was just a tiny, insignificant piece of the knowledge I hold. It was all because of that 1 nanometer lithography technology. I decided to take a chance and handed the blueprints over to the government. That decision was the reason I vanished without a word 3 years ago. We stood there, locked in each other's gaze for what felt like an eternity. In those few seconds, every single moment we had ever spent together came rushing back to me. Our days back at high school C, the long hours of studying. It all flashed before my eyes, like a movie playing in my mind. And I knew she was feeling it too. I remembered the teacher calling us both to the board to solve equations. I remembered the cheers of our classmates when we got them right. I remembered us cheering each other on during the school sports meet, pushing through the final stretch of the 1,500-meter race. I remembered the spicy snacks she used to sneak into class, and the way the sunset used to stain the sky blood red while we walked home. In the story of our youth, our names are permanently etched into one another. It's a shame Lin Qingshu never once took my hand after a basketball game, not even when it was covered in sweat and grime. And I never reached out to tuck those stray strands of hair behind her ear when the wind blew. I stood there frozen, hesitating for what felt like forever. Finally, I looked up and asked, "So, I heard I was dead?" Lin Qingshui's eyes turned bloodshot again in an instant. It looked like 1,000 words were choking her, stuck in her throat. She grit her teeth hard and finally spoke. "That's right, Chu Xiaoyu," she spat. "Weren't you dead? Why did you have to show up again?" For 3 whole years, Lin Qingshui truly, honestly believed that I was gone for good, that I was dead. But now, here I was, standing right in front of her. My voice caught in my throat for a moment. I wanted so badly to explain everything that happened over these last 3 years. Why I left, what I was actually doing. But with my current clearance, I can't reveal a single thing. I force myself to swallow every word. The specific details of what I did during those 3 years, not even the people closest to me are allowed to know. The contributions I've made can only be made public. After I'm dead, only then can my life be brought into the light. So I just whispered, "No matter what happened, it's been a long time." Lin Qingshui's expression turned cold as she snapped, "I don't want to see you. I only came here to confirm if you were actually dead or not. Now that I know you're alive, I'm leaving." As soon as she finished speaking, She turned to walk away, but I called out, Lin Shui. She stopped in her tracks. In a freezing tone, she asked, "What?" I replied, "I just wanted to tell you I didn't break our promise. I didn't fail you." Lin Shui let out a mocking laugh. Suppressing her rage, she looked at me and said, "That promise? Xiao Yu, what does life or death matter? Between the two of us, who do you think you are? You leave when you want to leave. You show up when you want to show up. I sent you so many messages over these 3 years. You didn't reply to a single one, for no reason at all. You vanished as if the earth had swallowed you whole. Do you think that's stylish? Do you feel triumphant? Is that it? Do you think this is how you make me remember you forever? Weren't you gone? If you already disappeared, why did you have to show your face again?" Lin Shui practically screamed that last sentence. She was unloading 3 years of sadness, frustration, and every single grievance. At first, she actually held on to hope that I was just playing a prank on her. Back then, she thought that after finding me, she'd give me a piece of her mind. But eventually, she just gave up. 3 years without a word made her feel like she was finally forgetting. She was slowly letting go of the history we shared. But now, here I am, appearing out of nowhere and leaving her speechless. What could I even say? I've pledged my life to my country, leaving nothing for her. "I'm sorry," I said. "I shouldn't have left without saying goodbye back then. I left in such a rush that I didn't know how to face her or tell her I was going. The scientific research project I joined was a state secret. Even my parents only knew the government recruited me for a special program. I don't regret serving my country, but when it comes to Lin Shui, I feel nothing but guilt." She cut me off before I could finish. "No, you don't need to apologize. We have no relationship. Leave if you want, stay if you want. I don't care what you do. I'm leaving. There's an urgent matter at home that I need to handle. I'll be back by the time military training ends at the latest." Lin Shui's face tensed up, and she instinctively asked what had happened. Then she forced her cold mask back on and said, "If you want to go, go. I'm nothing to you, so you don't need to explain yourself to me. I've already spoken to the school, but you are the class assistant, after all. Shouldn't a student skipping training at least notify their counselor? Besides," I added, "in my eyes, you're much more than just my counselor." She let out a soft huff and looked away, pretending she didn't know what I meant. "If you have nothing else to say, I'm leaving first," she muttered. "I'm done," I replied. "At least this time, I'm not leaving in silence, right? I don't want to be a lapdog," I teased, reminding her of her drunken rant. Her face flushed bright red as she glared at me, far too embarrassed to keep talking. "I have family business. If you're going, just go. You're so annoying." She spun around and ran off before I could say another word. I stood there watching her back as she disappeared into the distance. A slow, genuine smile finally spread across my face. Back in her dorm, Lin Shui sat in silence for a long time. She suddenly cursed herself, furious at how easily her heart had softened. "Can't you have some dignity?" she whispered. "Why do you cave the moment you see him? He vanished for 3 years without a thought for her, yet here she was, worrying about his family." I looked at the people inside and told them to get out. "Don't forget to subscribe." I looked up and peered out of the elevator into the dark crowd. It turned out to be some male idols surrounded by fans snapping photos. I couldn't help but let out a cold laugh at the sheer number of them. I asked if his family built this airport, and his assistant's face soured instantly. "What's that supposed to mean? Do you have any idea how tight Lele's schedule is? Our flight is about to board, so hurry up and let us through." I remained completely unfazed by their frantic energy. I told them to ask anyone in this elevator if they didn't have their own business to attend to. I wondered aloud if celebrities suddenly had special privileges over everyone else. The idol's entourage started moving in, and his crazed fans began screaming at the top of their lungs. "Do you think you're busier than Lele? He's a national superstar with no time to breathe. Letting him use the elevator is an honor for you people, so get out of the way. If Lele misses his flight because of you, can you even handle the responsibility?" The actor's expression darkened as he stood there, fueled by 2 years of fame. He had been spoiled rotten by the industry and expected everyone to bow down. Even if he showed up 2 hours late to a set, the entire crew had to wait for him. He huffed to himself, though his professional training kept him somewhat cautious. He knew that being too extreme in public could easily turn the fans against him. A second later, a fake smile spread across his face as he waved off his assistant and bodyguards. He looked at me inside the elevator and grinned, saying it was fine even though he was in a rush. "I'll let you go first," he said. "After all, everyone is busy these days." My lip twitched in silence. This little performance had already wasted enough time for the elevator to go up and down. But his brainless fans squealed about how polite their Lele was while pointing their fingers at me. I just shook my head helplessly, refusing to give this actor any more of my attention. I simply pressed the button to close the doors, having no idea what was coming next. Just because I didn't bow to him, he was already planning to weaponize his fans against me the moment I left. The actor turned back to his crowd of followers with a saintly smile. All right, everyone stop fighting," he cooed. "It was just a small incident, nothing to worry about. We should go now. Everyone, please clear the way." His assistant caught the hint immediately and smiled at the crowd, telling them to disperse. "But remember," the assistant added with a glint in his eye, "don't go posting about this on the internet under any circumstances. Not that we can stop you." He was saying one thing, but inside he was already calculating how to milk this drama for views. The fans hadn't even thought about taking it public until he planted the seed. But once the suggestion hit their group chats, the fire started spreading. chaos erupted instantly. To these people, Lele was their entire world. To them, harassing their big brother was a sin worse than killing their own mother. 10 minutes later, Lele's diehard fans started raising hell all over the internet. Maliciously edited videos and slogans calling for my head began to surface. Doxing posts trying to dig up my personal data popped up everywhere. They even started a thread titled, "Come out and apologize to Lele. Our idol deserves respect." Those obsessed fans pushed it to the trending page in record time. Because of them, some of my personal information was leaked online. Most of my crucial data was protected by SSS-level encryption, though. Unless you have top-tier clearance, finding the real me is impossible. Still, they managed to get my photo out there for the world to see. They noticed a massive gap in my history. No records of Chu Xiao from 2020 to 2024. Once that detail went public, Lele's mindless army went into a frenzy. They immediately started their online crusade against me. They asked, is it really this easy to get into Kyoto University? Can just anyone study there now? They couldn't find my entrance exam scores or any record of my admission. No international competitions, no awards. So how did this guy get into Kyoto University? They demanded an investigation, claiming my background was full of red flags. There were a few reasonable fans trying to calm things down, but they were drowned out by the rhythm set by the fanatics. Public opinion swung entirely in Lele's favor from the very start. And just like that, I became public enemy number one. Back at the Kyoto University girls' dorm, Li Qian was relaxing and scrolling through videos. Then she spotted the trending topic blowing up at lightning speed. She immediately called over Lin Qingshui, who was sitting right next to her. "Qingshui, look, isn't this your childhood friend? People are tearing him apart online." Lin Qingshui froze, grabbed the phone from Li Qian's hand, and started scrolling. She was speechless. Were these fans actually this stupid? She whipped out her own phone and dove straight into the trending comments. She started firing back. Are celebrities gods now? He didn't give up the elevator. So what? Was she in a rush to be reincarnated, or just in a hurry to die? Seeing Lin Qingshui's righteous fury, Li Qian couldn't help but laugh. "I thought you said you were done with Chu Xiao? Look at you now. I'm starting to think you still have feelings for him." "I'm judging the facts, not the person," Lin Qingshui snapped. "I'd do this for anyone." But she soon realized her defense was being drowned out by a flood of malicious hate. "Qingshui, this is bad. Lele's fans aren't letting up. Your friend is in serious trouble." At that exact moment, inside a high-security government office, a warning light flashed red. An agent reported nervously, "Scrub the trending lists immediately. A massive wave of users is trying to expose the identity of an SSS-level national asset. There is a critical risk of a major intelligence leak. The protocols are ready. Requesting specific instructions to intercept and shut this down now." Liu Changjing, the director of general security, saw the report and instantly exploded with rage. "What the hell are you people doing? Scrub every single piece of information about Chu Xiao from the internet right now. Investigate this immediately. Find out if foreign spies or enemy organizations are fanning these flames. I'm giving you 10 minutes. If he suffers because of this, you'll all pay the price. China can survive without me as director, but the scientific community cannot survive without him. To the state, I wasn't just a student. I was a national-level academic genius. My personal file had been hard-linked to the General Security Administration for a long time. It didn't matter who they were or what institution they represented. The moment anyone tried to dig into my background, a high-level danger alert would trigger instantly. But this time, it wasn't just one person poking around. It was a mindless mob of netizens. They were spreading my information across the web like a wildfire. Liu Changjing pulled up the security footage from the airport elevator. He watched the scene unfold with a cold, piercing gaze. He cursed under his breath, disgusted by how shameless these modern celebrities had become. Being a star is one thing, but they need to open their damn eyes and see who they're dealing with. Demanding the country's youngest future academician give up his elevator? Do you even deserve to breathe the same air? But just as he finished speaking, his phone rang, and the caller ID made his heart skip a beat. His heart skipped a beat as he realized someone was stepping up to defend me. The call was from Wang Beimin, the director of the Chinese Academy of Sciences. People think these old scholars are soft, but when it comes to protecting their own, they're experts. Liu Changjing held his breath for a second. He nervously pressed the answer button. Wang Beimin didn't even say hello, he just started shouting. "Liu Changjing, what the hell is the point of your security administration if you can't handle this? If Chu Xiao's identity is exposed, I'll forget my manners and tear your office apart myself. Old Wang, please calm down. I'm already organizing the team to resolve it. 10 minutes. Every single post on the internet will be gone. As for that celebrity, I'm calling the head of cultural development for a meeting right now. I'll give you an answer that satisfies you and every researcher at the academy." Wang Beimin hung up, leaving Liu Changjing sitting in his office, teeth clenched in rage. He grabbed his desk phone to call the head of the cultural development department. "Tell him to be in my office in 30 minutes, he barked into the receiver. "Or I'll personally march down to his headquarters and drag him here myself." Meanwhile, back in the airport waiting room, my phone buzzed. It was Wang Beimin. "Chu Xiao, don't you worry about a thing," he said. "Let this old man handle the mess. You just focus on waiting for your flight. Don't let these trivial outside distractions disturb your mind." I'll give you a satisfactory answer within the day, he promised. At first, I didn't think much of the whole situation, but a second later, several girls wearing heavy, flashy makeup marched toward me with looks of pure disdain. Are you Xiaoyu? You're actually pretty handsome, one sneered. Weren't you in a hurry? Why are you still hanging around the waiting room? You're just sitting here because our Lele is famous and you want to leech off her popularity, right? You want to be famous? Fine, we'll help you get famous. Before I could blink, one of the girls dumped a bottle of water right over my head. I didn't even have time to react before I was completely soaked. The airport security guards finally noticed the commotion across the room. They rushed over shouting, but the girls just shared a look and bolted into the crowd. I sat there, trying to dab the water off my clothes with a handful of paper towels. Suddenly, my phone screen lit up on the seat beside me. Back in her dorm, a worried Lin Qingshui had quietly sent me a text. Are you okay? She asked, and my foul mood instantly started to lift. I felt a spark of genuine joy just seeing her name on the screen. I was about to reply to the proud Lin Qingshui when my roommate called me instead. What he told me made my blood boil. Lin Qingshui and her friends were online trying to defend me. And now, someone had leaked the fact that she and I were deskmates back in high school. Someone even posted her photo online, and now Lele's fans are dragging her through the mud. Up until now, I've always treated these movie fans with a sense of detachment. I met their fanaticism with tolerance and a carefree attitude. But right now, I can't take it anymore. I took a deep breath and stared at Lin Qingshui's message until my mind went numb. I felt a pang of guilt. She's being torn apart online, yet she's still worried about me. Once I processed the situation and cleared my head, I took a few seconds to think and then made a call. The call connected instantly, and Lin Qingshui was the first to speak. Xiaoyu, how are things at the airport? She asked, her voice trembling with worry. Are you okay? I heard Lele's fans are completely obsessed with this game. They're crazy. Did they do anything to you? I'm fine, really. Don't worry about that right now. Just let me handle it, okay? Stay in your dorm for now. Stay off the internet and find a lighthearted movie to watch. By the time the credits roll, I'll have everything settled. Lin Qingshui's voice grew frantic, finally breaking into a soft sob. How are you going to solve it? There are so many people attacking us online. How can you face them alone? She cried. If I hadn't acted out of spite this morning and just said goodbye properly, maybe none of this would have happened. To change the subject and ease her mind, I smiled and said, Sister Lin, are you this worried about me? Does that mean you've forgiven me? Xiaoyu, let me tell you something. One thing has nothing to do with the other. I'm helping you online only because what they're doing is crossing the line. That's it. Don't you dare overthink this. Get that idea out of your head. I absolutely won't forgive you. After she said it, she added a silent thought to herself. At least not that easily. It was pathetic, really. We hadn't been in contact for 3 whole years. But the moment I showed up, her heart surrendered immediately. No matter how many harsh words she spoke or how much anger she held, seeing me made it all vanish. From the first moment I saw Lin Qingshui again, I knew she was exactly the same as before. She's just too proud for her own good. I'm just glad we haven't lost each other yet. I looked up and smiled softly, my tone turning serious. The future is very long, Sister Lin. When I'm done with my family's business, I'll ask for your forgiveness properly. I don't feel like talking to you anymore. I'm hanging up, Lin Qingshui snapped. And with that, she cut the call directly. She took a few quick, deep breaths and fanned her reddening cheeks with her hands. Li Qian, standing beside her, asked with a mischievous smirk, why'd you stop crying? Ever since Lin Qingshui's information was leaked by those fans, countless malicious private messages had been flooding her phone. Even if she acts distant and cold, deep down, she's still just a 19-year-old girl. Lin Qingshui quickly shook her head, trying to hide her flustered state. She picked up her phone again, transforming into a warrior of justice as she began to strike back. After hanging up the call with Lin Qingshui, I reached into my suitcase and pulled something out. It was an encrypted phone. I dialed a specific number. This is Xiaoyu. Secret code S17171. I'm requesting to speak with Director Liu Changyin of the General Security Bureau. As soon as he picked up, Liu Changyin spoke in a hurried, respectful tone. Academician Chu, I am so sorry. Please, don't worry. Your identity is my top priority. It will absolutely not be leaked, nor will the identity of anyone involved. Our agency will investigate this thoroughly. Thank you, Director Liu, but I need one more favor. That Kyoto University student supporting me, I don't want her affected by this again. It's no trouble at all. These are things our people should be doing anyway. But, Academician Chu, may I ask an indiscreet question? That Miss Lin Qingshui on the internet, is she your girlfriend? If she is, our security agency will take the appropriate measures immediately. For the families of top research academics, the Security Bureau has a strict set of protection protocols, just like they did for my parents. The moment I entered the research base 3 years ago, my parents were moved directly into the Kyoto family compound. There is always someone there to guarantee their safety during their daily travels. I froze for a moment. After a brief pause, I finally replied, not yet. I understand. Don't worry, I'll handle this, Liu Changyin said, nodding repeatedly before hanging up and muttering to himself. So that's why this kid suddenly went to Kyoto University. He was chasing a girl. Now that's more like a young man. But a moment later, Liu Changyin's brow furrowed as he looked at the trending topics. The numbers on the hot search list were still climbing rapidly. Didn't we already start scrubbing the comments? Why is the popularity still so high? Director, Lele has too many fans. We can't just delete everything we want. We wipe out one batch, and another appears instantly. What does the person in charge over there have to say for themselves? The heat isn't dying down. Do they want me to invite their boss to the security agency for tea? The manager isn't answering, but I contacted a friend who works there. He says several investors are using the Lele situation to their advantage. They're using this opportunity to promote him again because his commercial value is still high. I don't care what capital is backing Lele. Have the technical department handle it directly and shut down their servers. Every account posting inappropriate comments online needs to be blocked immediately. And bring all those investors into the General Security Bureau for questioning. I want to see if their capital is bigger than my size 13 boot. Furthermore, notify the other institutions. I want results in 2 minutes. Every trace of that internet trash must vanish completely. Meanwhile, in the high-end VIP waiting room, Lele was reclining peacefully in a luxury massage chair. He watched the online firestorm grow, his eyes filled with contempt and smug satisfaction. You're just an ordinary person, he thought. Did you really think you could fight me? I can make you regret everything with a snap of my fingers. And my assistant laughed, showering me with praise. Brother Lou, your fans are incredible. It hasn't even been half an hour. This topic is about to hit #1 on the trends. Your exposure is through the roof. They were celebrating, having no idea they'd soon be trading their luxury for a prison sewing machine. At that moment, inside the General Security Bureau, Liu Chongyin slammed a document onto the desk in front of the head of culture. In just 10 minutes, the trend was wiped clean, and every trace of that trash vanished from the internet. When Lele saw this backstage, he jumped up and screamed, "What the hell is going on?" His assistant scrambled to call a high-level executive working at the social media platform. The executive picked up the phone and immediately started barking orders and insults. Listen to me, there's a massive problem, and out of respect for our past relationship, I'm giving you one warning. You have two choices, run for it right now, or confess and hope for mercy, because if you resist, they will crush you. Do you have any idea how much damage this Lele situation has caused us? Right then, the head of cultural development called Lele's agency directly and roared into the phone. I'm calling to notify you of a few things. Regarding every single artist under your management agency, every film and television project pending release is officially canceled. Don't ever bring them to me again. If I approve a single one, I'll take your last name. Every star in your company who supported Lele online is now blacklisted. Especially Lele, though you don't need to worry about him anymore. He's finished. And by 9 p.m. tonight, bring every executive from your company to the Cultural Development Bureau for a little chat. The head of the talent agency froze in shock, but the nightmare was only beginning. His secretary burst into the office, her face pale with pure panic. Mr. San, something terrible has happened. The tax authorities are here. They were there to seize every single document related to the company's finances. Meanwhile, back at the airport, Lele and his assistant were still standing there, watching as notifications for canceled channels, lost sponsorships, and voided contracts flooded in. They still had no idea why their world was collapsing. That was when 4 plainclothes officers approached them, their expressions cold as they flashed their official badges. Good luck with your new life, superstar, you're going to need it. Lele flew into a blind rage instantly. But the moment he tried to make a move, the officers pinned his arms behind his back. At the same time, over in the girls' dormitory at Kyoto University, Li Qian was screaming with excitement. Qin Shui, look, did you see? The officials actually stepped in. This time, Chu Zhao's luck has finally. Li Qian stopped as Qin Shui nodded. Qin Shui acted unimpressed, explaining with her usual arrogance, I saw it. But let me be clear, Chu Xiao and I have absolutely nothing to do with each other anymore. A second later, the phone in her hand began to ring, and her face went rigid. She immediately gestured for silence, her expression tightening. Qin Shui whispered, be quiet, Chu Xiao is calling, as Li Qian smirked at her. And you say you're over him? You get so nervous the second he rings. Go on, take a deep breath and answer it. She finally picked up my call, her voice forced and indifferent as she said, Chu Xiao, what is it? Is something wrong? I replied, I'm about to board my flight, so I'm calling to let you know. Qin Shui nodded thoughtfully to herself before putting on an act. We have nothing to do with each other anymore, she snapped. If you're boarding, then board. Why should I care? You don't need to call me for that, she said, though she couldn't help but ask one more thing. Did you see what's happening online? They even arrested Lele. Every negative post about you has vanished. You got incredibly lucky this time. To think you'd benefit from a national crackdown on the entertainment industry. Yeah, I guess I have the country to thank, I said, offering no further explanation. It was better if she believed that. It saved me from having to explain the truth. Over the airport speakers, the final boarding call from Mabe echoed through the terminal. I have to go. I'll come find you when I get back. By the way, I'm still curious. What did you mean by that ex-boyfriend who died 3 years ago? Qin Shui's face turned bright red the moment I brought it up. What boyfriend? I don't know what you're talking about. Just go board, she yelled and hung up. She stared at her phone, her heart racing as she linked the pieces together. Panic surged through her. How did I even bring that topic up? At first, I really thought he was dead, she thought. Who knew he'd be standing here alive? How am I supposed to explain this? I can't just tell him I like him that much. So I gave him the identity of a dead ex-boyfriend, right? But a moment later, doubt crept in as she started muttering to herself. The announcement blared again. Passengers for the flight from Kyoto to Mabe, please board. She wondered when my family had moved to the northern desert, but there was no time to think. Li Qian leaned in with a mischievous smirk, teasing her friend. Do you have any idea how you looked on that call? You were like a little girl in love. Meanwhile, Lele sat in the back of the police transport, his gaze hollow and lost. Even now, he clung to a shred of hope that he could somehow fix this mess. He looked at the officer beside him, his voice dripping with desperation. Officer, please, can I just have my phone? I only need to make a couple of calls. Absolutely not. Rules are rules. No phone calls allowed. But I suppose I can show you what's happening in the news. The officer pulled out his own phone, but the moment Lele saw the screen, his face went pale. A second later, the officer let out a curse and shouted to the driver. Pull over. Let me sit in the front. This kid is throwing up everywhere. At the same time, back in the girls' dormitory, Lin Qingshui sat alone, her thoughts drifting back to me. She stared at her call history, gritting her teeth and muttering to herself after I had left. I haven't heard a word from him. Did he even make it home? Just then, Li Qian walked over to her with a mischievous smirk. If you still have feelings for him, just send him a message already. Of course not. I'm beautiful. Do you really think he's the only guy who wants me? Why on earth should I be the one to text him first? Meanwhile, I was focused on researching the space shuttle engine as quickly as possible. I started studying the technical materials day and night. At 11 p.m., I arrived at Yixingwa's dorm and handed him the USB drive. Dean Yi, these are my concepts for the space engine, along with the research blueprints. Yixingwa took a look, and his expression gradually turned dead serious. The materials I had given him were incredibly detailed. Right then, my phone suddenly buzzed in my pocket. Sorry, Uncle Yi, it's nothing. I didn't think anyone would call this late. It must be that little girlfriend of yours sending you a message. Young love, I've been through it myself, you know. Don't mind me. I picked up my phone and checked the screen. Sure enough, it was a message from Lin Qingshui. Did you get home? I'm home, just chatting with someone right now, I replied. When Lin Qingshui saw that message, she was instantly annoyed. She had finally swallowed her pride just to ask me what I was doing. And now, here I was, telling her I was busy chatting with someone else. She figured if I had time for that, I had time to tell her I was home. Back when we were desk mates, I used to text her every little detail. Even when I was just going to take a shower. Men really do change. She let out a frustrated huff, and then a string of messages popped up. Who is it? How inconvenient. I won't interrupt your precious chat then. You talk to them today, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good night, I'm sleeping. I stared at the long, sudden wall of text from Lin Qingshui. I was genuinely confused. What was going on with her? And what was with that attitude? Yi Xiangwa leaned in and asked, did you get into a fight with your girl? When I was courting my wife, I never stopped trying to make her happy. You can always consult me, kid. The old man actually had the nerve to try and give me relationship advice. I decided to just send a simple reply. Fine, go to sleep then. Keep the AC on, but stay covered so you don't catch a cold. Good night. On the other end, Lin Qingshui's expression froze the moment she read it. She started gnashing her teeth and typed back furiously. It's been 3 years since I hit you. Is your skin starting to itch for a beating? I went numb. After hesitating for a few seconds, I immediately sent a reply. Isn't that what everyone on the internet says? Lin Qingshui was fuming. Xiaoyu, are you a caveman? Li Qian, the better looking of the two, was watching closely. She leaned in toward Lin Qingshui with a gossiping look in her eyes. Is your precious Xiaoyu making you angry again? Lin Qingshui gripped her phone tight and made a decision. I won't talk to him for at least 3 days, though I'll probably cave in one. Yi Xiangwa looked at me with a dazed expression and asked, well, did she go to sleep happy? Yeah, exactly. She went to sleep. The next morning, Lin Qingshui was working as the counselor's assistant. She sat on the playground, checking her phone every few seconds. Li Qian, sitting right beside her, was quick to ask, Qingshui, are there flowers growing on your phone screen? You're checking it every few minutes. What's the matter? Lin Qingshui immediately pouted, her tone sounding deeply wronged. It's all Xiaoyu's fault. I sent him a good morning message. It's almost noon now, and he still hasn't replied to a single thing. I said I wouldn't talk to him for 3 days, but I didn't mean he could ignore me. I even posted a photo of military training on my WeChat moments. I was waiting for him to ask how school was going, thinking I might soften up and talk to him. I gave him the chance, but he didn't take it. Didn't you say yesterday you weren't going to talk to him for 3 days? That doesn't mean he can't message me. Lin Qingshui snapped back. Seeing her like this, Li Qian couldn't help but pinch Lin Qingshui's cheeks. Please, little Qingshui, do you have to be this adorable? If he doesn't message you, then just ignore him. There are thousands of men in the world. If he's a bust, we'll just replace him. You don't need him, Li Qian said, but Lin Qingshui just muttered, we'll see. She checked her phone one more time, but there was still no message. That afternoon at the research base, dozens of top-tier experts and professors gathered. Aside from Wu Li, most of them were new faces to me. They had been urgently transferred to the Mabe research base. They had dropped everything the moment they received the transfer orders. None of them knew why they were here, and the room was buzzing with heated discussion. Finally, Yi Xiangwa entered the conference room with me and Wu Li. We walked slowly toward the front of the hall. The experts began to whisper among themselves the moment they saw me. They looked completely perplexed, having no idea what I had actually achieved. The research staff working at this base were all older than me, at least 30 or so. Some of the senior experts were pushing 70 or 80 years old. We held a brief introductory meeting to get everyone up to speed. That meeting ended up lasting nearly 6 hours. It was past 2 in the morning by the time I finally wrapped things up. I spent the entire time explaining the theory behind the propulsion attraction device. I also fielded a barrage of technical questions from the scholars and experts. When the meeting ended, the room erupted into thunderous applause and passionate cheers. The sound echoed through every corner of the conference hall. After saying my goodbyes, I headed to the security lockers at the entrance to retrieve my phone. I turned it on as I walked back toward the reception dormitory. Once it booted up, I saw a notification from Lin Qingshui. She had sent it around 11 p.m., just a short message saying good night. I thought about it for a second, smiled, and replied, good night, sweet dreams. The very next second, Lin Qingshui's reply flashed on the screen. Oh wow, our busy man finally deigns to answer me. Lin Qingshui bit her lip, thinking, so, you're finally awake. As if she had been sleeping, she hadn't sent a single word since her morning greeting. She was intentionally playing hard to get, leaving me hanging all day. She only sent that good night to bait me into messaging her back. And I had waited. I waited until right now. Lin Qingshui took a deep breath, quickly forcing herself to calm down. She typed back slowly, I'm not asleep. I was just hanging out with my roommate. Is there a problem? If not, when exactly do you plan on sleeping? Are family matters keeping you that busy? So busy you couldn't even send one text all day? I spent the morning perfecting documents and the afternoon hosting experts and professors. I had to meet with them all night, too. Yeah, I'm pretty swamped. It's great. Lin Qingshui thought, if you're so busy, why don't you stop texting me and go do your work? But in the end, she didn't send her real thoughts. She just asked out of curiosity. Last time you made me angry, I didn't get a chance to ask. Xiao Yu, why did you vanish without a word for 3 years? Don't you think you owe me an explanation? But after thinking it over, I realized maybe I was being a bit too impatient. She followed up with, of course, if you don't think an explanation is necessary, that's fine too. It's not like we're in a relationship anyway. You disappeared for 3 years, you brat. The fact that this beauty is still texting you nicely means you're already very lucky. You'd better give me a real explanation for why you left without saying goodbye back then. I replied, Qingshui, can we please not talk about that? Lin Qingshui was so frustrated she wanted to punch her bed, but she managed to cool off. She shot back, oh okay, fine, let's leave it at that then. I'm going to sleep. I asked her, are you angry? Lin Qingshui curled her lips into a smile, thinking, is there hope for this blockhead after all? No, I wouldn't dare be angry with you, the great and busy Chu. If you get mad again, what are we going to do about that disappearing act from 3 years ago? I replied, it won't happen again. There was a real reason for what happened back then. But I promise you, I will never leave again without saying goodbye. I'm nothing to you. You don't have to go out of your way to tell me that. I thought, aren't we good friends? Just good friends? Could we be something more? After a while, Lin Qingshui rubbed her forehead in total helplessness. He's hopeless. This person is truly beyond help. I've been so clear with my words. Does he still not understand what I mean? Fine, I want to sleep. I told her to get some rest. Okay then, go to sleep. Good night. Over the next few days, the two of us chatted like that, on and off. But every time I saw a message from Lin Qingshui, it became a rare moment of relaxation amidst my grueling research work. 10 days later, the military training at Kyoto University was finally coming to an end. Inside the Mabe research base, a round of enthusiastic applause broke out. For these 10 days, we had been submerged in the research base day and night. All of it was for the creation of the model standing right in front of us. As long as this model could run successfully, everything would change. It also proves that my theory actually works, making today a monumental day. For the first time in my life, I can see the reality of gravity-driven propulsion. It's incredible. If this model runs perfectly, it will be the greatest energy breakthrough the world has ever seen. This date will be etched into the history books forever. One researcher whispered, Chief Engineer, Chu has worked so hard. I've never seen such dedication. As soon as those words were spoken, every eye in the room turned toward me. 10 days ago, I had convinced them with my theoretical knowledge. But now, they were following me out of pure respect for my scientific drive. I smiled at the team and said, save the praise. Let's prepare for the first ignition test. Yi Xianghua looked at me with concern. Chu, do you want to rest for a day? We can test it tomorrow. I shook my head. No, I can keep going. Let's start the ignition now. Yi Xianghua knew there was no changing my mind. He let out a soft sigh and quietly stepped aside. A researcher brought over the red ignition button and said, Chief Engineer, you should do the honors. I took a deep breath and reached for the button. Then I stopped and looked at Yi Xianghua. Ding Yi, why don't you do it? I'm actually a bit nervous. He laughed. Don't try to play the humility card with me now. You're the lead designer. This moment belongs to you. I nodded slowly. All right then, here goes. With a solemn expression, I pressed the button in my hand. Everyone held their breath as the machinery began to hum. The device roared to life, surging with a massive wave of power. A powerful electrical current was instantly infused into the core. Red warning lights began flashing across the entire research base. A continuous alert signal echoed through everyone's ears. Ignition successful, activating the warp engine chamber. As the final countdown hit 0, the test reached its peak. A 100-pound iron sphere was dropped into the propulsion field. The moment it entered the field, it defied the laws of gravity. Instead of falling, it shot straight forward like a bullet. It flew across the facility with terrifying speed. It slammed into a massive iron door 100 meters away. Seeing that impact, the tension in the room finally snapped. A deafening roar of celebration erupted throughout the base. We did it. We actually did it. Warp drive technology was no longer a dream. It was a reality. Grown men threw their arms around each other, weeping with joy. Yi Xinghua's eyes turned red. He spent his entire life building engines. He's watched our nation's tech grow from nothing into this miracle. He's endured every single hardship this field has to offer. More than anyone, he wanted China at the top of the aerospace world, and today, he saw it happen. Overwhelmed with emotion, I turned and gave the crowd a slight, respectful bow. But as I lowered my head, a crushing weight suddenly took hold of me. I knew instantly that something was wrong. I had pushed my body too far. My physical strength hit its limit, and I felt myself start to sway. Yi Xinghua was the first one to notice my condition. He rushed over to support me, shouting, "Chu Xiao, what's happening?" He had sensed since this morning that my mental state was fracturing. I had only been holding on through sheer willpower to see this engine assembled. Now that the test was over, that final spark of energy simply vanished. I smiled bitterly, realizing my body was still far weaker than I thought. I understood what was happening. This was total physical exhaustion. I just didn't know how many days I'd be out, and I didn't want Lin Qingshui to worry. Using the last of my strength, I caught Yi Xinghua's "I won last time." I thought, I'm going to have to trouble you all again. The next second, my eyes slowly drifted shut. My body began to tilt forward, completely out of my control. The last thing I heard was Yi Xinghua screaming for help toward the door. Then, everything went black. "Hurry! Someone get over here and get him to the Mabe Military Hospital immediately." The command echoed through the hangar like a gunshot. High above Kyoto University, 4 of China's most advanced fighter jets roared across the sky. In the center of the formation, an armed transport plane flew with steady, heavy precision. Students on their break looked up at the blue sky, their faces tight with sudden tension. My God, for fighter jets as an escort. I wondered who, or what critical materials, could possibly be inside that transport plane. To deploy active combat jets, something massive was happening. Some students scrambled to take photos, but their usually kind military instructor snapped. He stood up instantly and barked, "No photos allowed. Every single picture you just took must be deleted right now." His orders were punctuated by the rising and falling sounds of harsh reprimands. Then, the chief instructor's voice boomed over the loudspeakers. "Break time is over." No one knew the specifics of what was going on yet. But one thing was certain. Something monumental had just occurred, and a few people still managed to film it. They tried to capture the spectacle, but then something strange happened. The file simply wouldn't upload. Even if they hit send, the messages vanished into thin air. Every single file was wiped in less than a minute, and Lin Qingshui looked up. I didn't know why, but a sudden, heavy tightness gripped my chest. Li Qian was quick to notice that something was wrong with me. "Qingshui, what's the matter? You look so pale." "It's nothing. I just suddenly feel a bit sick." I told her I'd be fine after a rest, but my eyes stayed glued to those fighter jets screaming across the sky. 3 days later, I found myself in the ICU of the Kyoto Military Hospital after being rushed there. The authorities had issued a direct order, summoning every top-tier expert in the building to my side. They put me through a grueling series of exams and consultations, their faces etched with nerves. Only when they confirmed I was just suffering from extreme exhaustion did everyone finally breathe again. Back at the Kyoto University sports field, Li Qian turned to Lin Qingshui. "Qingshui, do you want some milk tea?" "No, I don't want anything. I feel depressed, and I've lost my appetite." "What is with you? You've been completely distracted for the last 3 days." Li Qian leaned in with a smirk and asked, "Is this about Wang Xiuji? I heard he's planning a big confession for you at the welcome party tonight." "Are you worried about that?" she asked, but that wasn't the real reason at all. 3 days ago, I sent him a good morning text, and then he vanished as if the earth had swallowed him whole. I've sent message after message, but I haven't received a single reply. It's like he's disappeared again. Meanwhile, at the Kyoto Military General Hospital, 2 old academics were locked in a heated discussion. Lying in the hospital bed, I felt a slight twitch in my finger. Slowly, I forced my eyes open. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Yi Xinghua and Wang Beimin standing right there. I opened my mouth and croaked out, "My phone, where's my phone?" Yi Xinghua bolted upright from the hospital sofa instantly. He rushed to my side. His face lit up with a frantic, desperate kind of joy. He turned toward the door and screamed at the top of his lungs, "Xiao Chu, you're awake. Doctor, get in here now. The patient is awake." I looked at the two of them, completely overwhelmed. Hadn't I just taken a nap? There was no need for all this drama just because I woke up, so I repeated myself. "Hey, does one of you have a second to grab my phone for me?" Then I asked the real question, how many days was I out this time? Yi Xinghua nodded frantically and handed the device over to me. 3 days, he said. I took it from him and didn't waste a second. I tapped the screen, and a mountain of notifications flooded my vision, all from Lin Qingshui. "Good night. Did you stay up all night? Where are you, Xiaoyu? Are you trying to disappear again? Answer me. Xiaoyu, I'm giving you 30 minutes. If you don't reply, I am never speaking to you again. Xiaoyu, you're a jerk. One last chance. Answer me right now. Where the hell did you go? I hate you. Also, I have urgent news about the gala. The messages said someone was planning to make a move on her at the faculty welcome party in 2 days. The sophomore vice president of the student council is going to propose to Senior Lin. Are you done with your family business? I swiped the screen and opened the class group chat to see what everyone was saying. The messages were clear. Every student was expected to be there, and those with free time had to help the council. Entry to the auditorium required a ticket, and we were warned not to lose them under any circumstances. The class rep was firing everyone up, telling those performing to give it their all and bring glory to our department. I skimmed through the rest of the notifications, my heart racing as the situation became clear. I looked up instantly and stopped the doctors who had just reached the door of my hospital room. Can I be discharged today? I asked, not giving them a single second to react. Yi Xianghua and Wang Beiman both stared at me in total shock. Xiao Chu, didn't the doctor tell you to rest? Why are you in such a hurry to leave today? If it's for tonight's celebration banquet, we can just have someone pick you up from the hospital. We can even push you there in a wheelchair. Honestly, if you ask me, you should just skip it. The doctor stepped forward and said, Mr. Chu, discharging you is one thing, but can you guarantee your limbs will even move by noon? I can guarantee it, I said firmly, then turned to the others. What's the schedule for the celebration banquet? It's at the Great Hall. It starts at 7 o'clock, and the chief arrives at 7:30 to give the awards speech. It ends at 8 o'clock, and then we head to the Jiangshan Pavilion State Guest House for the formal dinner. I checked the time for the faculty welcome gala on my phone again. It was also set for 8 p.m. How long does it take to get from Jiangshan Pavilion to the university? I asked. It's close. About 10 minutes. Yi Xinghua's eyes widened. Xiao Chu, you aren't actually thinking of going back to school, are you? With your current health, do you really think you can handle that? It doesn't matter, I said. I'll need you two to help me up and order me some food. After I eat, I'll start my recovery exercises so I can attend the celebration tonight. I won't be staying for the formal dinner, though. Just have a car ready to take me back to the university. Why do you have to go back today? The doctor said you only need 2 or 3 days of rest. I sighed helplessly, because if I don't, someone is going to steal what's mine. Inside the grand auditorium of Kyoto University, students from the School of Economics and Management gathered. Row after row of seats filled up as the crowd packed into the massive hall. Lin Qingshui stood in the backstage dressing room, adjusting her clothes as Wang Xiujia approached her with a smile. How are you feeling, class rep? Nervous. I'm fine, she replied, her voice cold and indifferent. She sat down in her chair and began scrolling through her phone without giving him a second glance. Wang Xiujia was taken aback by her coldness, but his gaze only grew more determined. Out in the audience, Sun Pinfei and the others from my dorm were whispering among themselves. Do you think Chu Xiao is actually going to make it? He said he'd be here for the gala. He just messaged the dorm group. He's 10 minutes away. Wait, look at the class chat. The academic counselor had just posted an urgent message. The girl scheduled to perform had fallen ill. She was in so much pain she'd been rushed to the infirmary and couldn't take the stage. The counselor was panicking, asking if anyone in the class knew how to play the piano. I saw the message on my screen and typed out a single word. Yes. I can take her place, I added, my fingers flying across the screen. I hit send, and the notification popped up for the entire class to see. How much time until our class performance starts? I asked. About half an hour, I think. Good, I'm almost there. A few minutes later, a black car pulled up. It came to a halt right in front of the Kyoto University auditorium. Thank you, truly. Thank you so much. I thanked the driver one last time and sprinted toward the auditorium entrance. Several members of the student association were standing guard at the doors. They looked stunned for a moment before stepping forward to block my path. Hey, student, which faculty are you with? One of them asked. The School of Economics and Management is holding its welcome gala inside tonight. You can't enter without an invitation. I'm from Class 1 of Economics and Management, I explained, but I left my invitation in the dorm. Can you make an exception? Freshman, how can you prove you're in our faculty? Do you have a student ID? I nodded quickly and sent a message to Sun Pinfei and the guys to come meet me at the entrance. Then I opened my phone's photo gallery and pulled up a picture of my student ID card. The student council member took my phone and looked at the screen. He carefully compared the photo on the ID card to my face. You're Chu Xiao, right? He whispered. You look better in person than in the photo. All right, go on in. Thanks, I said, heading inside. Brother, you're finally back. Pinfei shouted. Where is Lin Qingshui? I asked. Where else? She's in the backstage dressing room right now. Take me to her, I commanded. We can't go back there. Only performers are allowed backstage. We can't, but Chu Xiao can. Isn't he the one taking over the piano performance for our class? Isn't she our classmate now? She's the one performing the piano piece. Third brother, I had no idea you knew how to play the piano too. I learned when I was a kid, I replied. So what are we waiting for? Let's go. We headed to the break room, and Sang Min Jan approached the senior in charge of the gala. We're truly sorry, senior. Please, just hear me out. We need to change the song. What is wrong with you guys? Changing performers right before the show. And now you want to change the song too? If every class acted like yours, we wouldn't even be able to hold this year's welcome gala. We're really sorry, senior. It's just that our new performer hasn't mastered the original song yet. Please let us change it. Fine, bring the replacement over. Let him talk to me himself. Our third brother isn't very good at talking. He's a bit shy. Look, he's standing right here. Senior, please, show us some consideration. The senior glanced at me, and her eyes lit up instantly. So you're the one playing A Maiden's Prayer? I know this piece. It expresses a young woman's longing for a beautiful fantasy. Are you playing this piece for your girlfriend? No way, senior. Our third brother hasn't even held a girl's hand since elementary school. He's a temporary replacement and didn't have time to prepare. He just chose the piece he knows best to avoid mistakes. I see. I'll allow the change, but I'm taking a risk for you guys. In exchange, you have to do me a small favor. Name it. After the party, I want his contact information. No problem at all. After we got back, Sang Min-jan asked me, why did you have to pick this specific song? Because I once promised someone I'd play it for her at our high school sports festival, but I ended up transferring schools before the performance ever happened. That person was Lin Qingshui. Senior Lin, seriously? You two have a history. Third brother, you never cease to amaze me. Half an hour flew by. Lin Qingshui and Wang Xiuji were handed the updated announcement cards. They prepared to read the new introduction to the crowd, but the moment Lin Qingshui glanced at the name written on the card, she froze right where she stood, her mind going completely blank. Class rep, what's wrong? Lin Qingshui took a deep, shaky breath. She shook her head, though her voice was still trembling slightly. Next, please welcome Chu Xiao from Economics Class 1, performing A Maiden's Prayer. As she finished the introduction, the student council staff moved into action. They rolled the grand piano from the wings out to the center of the stage. All right, young Chu, it's your turn. Get out there. I gave a small nod of encouragement to myself and slowly left the dressing room. I climbed the stage stairs, one deliberate step at a time. When I reached the center of the stage, I felt her eyes locked onto me. I glanced across the stage and saw Lin Qingshui standing there, looking utterly expressionless. I walked toward the crowd, gave a slight bow, and sat down. I sat down on the piano bench as the spotlight from above hit me directly. My image flashed onto the massive screen at the back of the stage. The camera angle was perfect, capturing the sharp, handsome lines of my profile. The girls in the audience erupted into cheers instantly. Sun Peng, Fei Yi, and Sang Minjan watched from the crowd. Wang Lei and the others had returned to our class section after I took the stage, on their way back to their seats. They heard the girls whispering about me and were left completely speechless. Right then, the first slow notes of my piano playing reached everyone's ears. At the side of the stage, Wang Xiujia noticed Lin Qingshui's emotional state. Class rep, what's going on with you? Lin Qingshui's gaze immediately locked onto mine. At that exact moment, I happened to be looking right toward her. Subconsciously, Lin Qingshui's eyes began to dart away, avoiding my stare. I let out a soft sigh in my heart and slowly pulled my gaze back. I focused entirely on the keys until the piece finally came to an end. I stood up, walked to the center of the stage, and gave the crowd a slight bow. I took one last deep look at Lin Qingshui, standing there on the sidelines. Then, I slowly turned and walked off the stage. Lin Qingshui quickly fought to pull her emotions back under control. She stepped onto the stage with Wang Xiujia to announce the next act. As soon as she finished, she turned to him and spoke. I have something to handle. I'm going backstage. If I'm not back in time, you'll have to announce the next song alone. Lin Qingshui made her way from the stage back to the dressing room. She didn't even see me standing there. I reached out and grabbed her by the hand. Come with me for a second. Surprisingly, Lin Qingshui didn't resist. Her face was a mask of indifference as I led her into the hallway. The second the door closed, she violently shook her hand free. She broke my grip and glared at me with freezing eyes. Listen, are you done playing your games yet? You vanished for 3 days without a single word. Then you suddenly reappear and put on a show for everyone. Why did you drag me out here? Do you think this is funny? Or did you just want to see how much I've suffered? Qingshui, I'm sorry, I don't know how to explain it. I couldn't exactly tell her I'd been unconscious in a hospital bed. You what, Lishan? I'll admit it. I've liked you since high school. Even when the semester started and I found out you weren't actually dead. I was so relieved because those feelings for you never went away. That's why I rushed to the boys' dorm at dawn just to wait for you. But that doesn't give you the right to mess with me over and over again. The last time you vanished without a word, I didn't even ask for a reason. But now you've gone silent for 3 days again. What are you even doing? You don't answer the phone. You don't reply to my messages. Do you think that just because I like you, you can treat me however you want? Qingshui, I swear, it wasn't on purpose. There's a reason I didn't answer. It wasn't intentional. I came all the way to Kyoto University just for you. Give me one more chance. I promise. I'll never disappear without an explanation again. And this is your explanation? I'm serious. Something happened to me back then. Then say it. What was the reason? No matter how busy you are, you can always find time to send a single text. Forget it. You don't have to explain a thing. Xiaoyu, it doesn't matter. You vanished 3 years ago without a trace. And now you're here at Kyoto University. What? None of that matters to me anymore. I've spent these 3 days thinking it over. If you reply, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. Go wherever you want and live your life however you please. From now on, your life has absolutely nothing to do with me. This way, I don't have to waste my energy worrying. I won't have to wonder when you'll vanish in silence again. I'm just so tired. Xiaoyu, I don't want to love you anymore. Let's just end things right here. We'll live our own lives, and, in the future, we'll pretend we're strangers. As soon as those words left her lips, I brushed past her without a single expression. I threw open the back door of the dressing room. I marched inside with long, heavy strides. Every single person in the room turned to stare at me. Meanwhile, Lin Kingsway stepped back onto the other side of the stage. A single, crystal-clear tear escaped her beautiful eyes, but she wiped it away instantly. She took a deep breath, buried the ache in her heart, and forced a smile. I had walked past her like she was nothing, acting like it was all just a farce. But our story can only go this far. Maybe peace only comes after letting go completely. She won't have to worry about me vanishing into thin air ever again. Her youth and our time together is officially over. I watched Lin Kingsway's back as she walked away, wanting to call out and stop her. But after standing there in silence for a long time, I turned around and walked out of the backstage hallway. I pulled out my phone and sent a message to Su Pengfei, asking him exactly where our class was sitting. I made my way back to the stands and found my seat. The second I sat down, Su Pengfei and the guys crowded around me. Third bro, well, did the confession to Lin Kingsway go okay? Confession? What are you talking about? Don't play dumb. You only joined this performance to get backstage. Also, you could finally tell Lin Kingsway how you feel, right? I sighed. It doesn't matter. It was a total failure. She was furious because I didn't answer her messages for 3 days. Bro, that's your fault. Online, they say 3 days of silence is an automatic breakup. You haven't even won her over yet and you ghosted her? No wonder she's mad. Seriously, what happened to you during those 3 days? You just vanished. Forget it. Let's not talk about what happened. Just watch the show. The confidentiality protocols are strict. What I do for work stays secret. I'm destined to never share my work with anyone outside the project. It's fine. She's just mad. As long as she rejects Wang Xiujie tonight, you still have a chance. At least she's still willing to get angry at you. If she stops caring enough to get mad, then you're really finished. You keep saying that, but it all depends on her rejecting Wang Xiujie. That's the only way Xiaoyu has a shot. What if she actually says yes to him tonight? Doesn't matter. Even marriages end in divorce, let alone a confession. I wave them off. It's fine, I'm fine. Let's just drop it and see what happens. That's the spirit. It's a good thing you're back today anyway. The whole class organized a little get-together for tonight. We're all heading to KTV. We already booked the private room. Come sing with us tonight. We'll grab some drinks. There's nothing a night out can't fix. I'll go, but no alcohol for me. My stomach hasn't been great lately. I'll just sit with them for a while and try to put some faces to names. It would be embarrassing to be in school this long and not even know my classmates. If no major projects come up soon, I should be able to stay on campus for a while. I need to actually recognize the people I study with. I have that much social awareness. All right. Ha ha ha. Tonight, boys, I'm going to show you what the voice of a karaoke king sounds like. Up on the stage, Wang Xiujie rushed over to Lin Qingshui. Class rep, what's wrong? What happened? Lin Qingshui shook her head blankly and ignored him. She just stared at the stage, watching the other performers like a ghost. Time flies when you're distracted, and the 2-hour gala was soon over. After the final act, Lin Qingshui and Wang Xiujie went up for the closing speech. The crowd was already starting to pack up and head for the exits, but it looked like Wang Xiujie had already made some special arrangements. The stage spotlight suddenly swung around and locked onto him. Right on cue, a student ran out from the wings of the stage. He handed Wang Xiujie a massive bouquet of red roses. The scene flashed onto the giant screens for everyone to see. The students who were leaving sat right back down, ready for the drama. Sorry to interrupt for a few minutes, but I want you all to witness this. Wang Xiujie grabbed the mic and looked out at the massive crowd. Lin Qingshui, from the very first moment I saw you freshman year, I fell deeply in love with you, and now, I'm confessing it to the whole school. He thrust the flowers toward her with a confident smile. I've loved you for a year, and I've been chasing you for just as long. I want to understand you. I want to see the world through your eyes. I don't know when I realized it, but I can't live without you. So today, I'm hoping you'll give me a chance to finally be by your side. He finished his speech and stood there, waiting for her answer. The entire auditorium fell into a dead silence for a moment. A second later, the crowd below the stage erupted into whispers. I thought, this guy is clever, cornering her in front of everyone like this. My roommate nudged me and asked, "Third brother, are you going up there or what?" But before I could say a word, Lin Qingshui looked directly at Wang Xiujie. I'm sorry, she said. I know you're expecting me to say yes. But for me, if I'm going to be with someone, I have to truly, deeply love them. And unfortunately, I don't love you the way you love me. I can't accept this. Wang Xiujie stood there frozen, his face turning pale. I've already made myself clear before, she continued. I don't like you. Let this be the last time. There won't be a next time. After dropping that bomb, she handed back the microphone. She turned around and walked off without a single look back. I let out a long sigh of relief. Finally, the gala was over. I told my roommates, let's get back to the dorm, shower, and change for karaoke. Yeah, let's go. I looked back one last time. I watched Lin Qingshui's back as she stood up. She walked away without looking back. I let out a soft sigh and followed my roommates, my gaze hardening with determination. Love and my goals aren't in conflict. I won't give up that easily. Out on the school's main avenue, Li Qian was walking right next to Lin Qingshui. Qingshui, the way you shut down Wang Xiujie just now. That was seriously badass. It's a shame poor old Wang had to take another hit to the ego, though. Are we really just going to leave him hanging like that? Lin Qingshui shot Li Qian a sharp, freezing glare. I don't like him, period. He's the one who insisted on doing this in front of everyone. If he's bold enough to stage a public spectacle like that, he should be prepared for a public rejection. I'm not humoring his bad habits. Fair point. Let's change the subject then. What about that freshman Xiaoyu? He was looking for you backstage earlier, wasn't he? What's the deal with you two? Don't talk to me about him. I'm done with him after today. In my heart, that man died 3 years ago. Li Qian hesitated for a few seconds, sensing the sudden shift in the air. She could tell Lin Qingshui's mood was completely off. Especially when Xiaoyu came up, she looked like she was ready to kill someone. Fine, let's talk about something else then. Li Qian gave a forced, awkward smile, and then she pulled out the phone she was holding. She shoved the screen right in front of Lin Qingshui's face. Look at this post that's blowing up online. The Chinese Academy of Sciences just cracked 1-nanometer lithography technology. They've actually manufactured 1-nanometer chips. It won't be long now. We'll finally be using our own domestic chips. I'm definitely supporting this. Lin Qingshui had zero interest in national tech news right now. She was too depressed. She gave Li Qian's screen a casual, dismissive glance and started to turn away. But a second later, her head snapped back. She snatched the phone out of Li Qian's hand. Wait, let me see that. Let me see it up close. She stared intensely at the screen, her eyes locked on a specific detail. It was a photo from a Weibo post about the Academy of Sciences press conference. She zoomed in, scanning every pixel with extreme focus. Inside, she wondered, it's just a press conference photo. What's so interesting about it? Then she saw it. Lin Qingshui froze, even though the photo only showed a view from the back. Right there in the front row, in the seat at the very end. The clothes he's wearing and that silhouette, they're identical to mine. I could be wrong about a lot of things, but I would never mistake the shape of my own back. Not in a million years. Then there was that medal hanging from his chest. I didn't think much of it at first, but after seeing that photo, a bold, impossible idea flashed through my mind. Could my disappearance be because I was at that presentation? But look at how young I am. What kind of skills do I even have to attend a high-level presentation like this? You'd have to be one of the biggest names in the research industry. And yet, there I am, sitting right in the front row. It's unbelievable, but I know that's my back. I'm not mistaken. Is this some kind of illusion? Qingshui, let's just go back to the dorm. I needed to get back to my own territory. Once we were back, I tracked down that high-resolution image myself. I spent a long time examining every single detail of the photo. Then I fired up my computer and started scouring the internet. I found dozens of different medal designs online. They looked similar to the one on my chest, but most were much larger. At the same time, none of them seemed to be an exact match. Chu Xiao, what are you looking for on the internet? Qingshui asked. Nothing much, I replied, just looking for a bit of information. I closed the tabs. I was done searching for now. Qian, tell me, what kind of people attend those Academy of Sciences press conferences? It should be top academics from the Academy itself, along with senior researchers and industry experts. Maybe even some high-level leaders from the Science and Technology Administration. I nodded slowly, then I couldn't help but laugh at myself. What was I even hoping for just now? Was I really expecting it to be me at that Academy of Sciences press conference? Did I think there was some kind of top-secret confidentiality agreement involved? One that stopped me from sending a single text for 3 whole days? That's impossible. Besides, even if that person really was me, what does it matter now? My past self and I are two different things. Once I got back to the dorm, I tried to clear my head. I took off the suit and hung it up. Then, very carefully, I unpinned the medal from the fabric. I tucked the medal away safely in my dorm desk drawer. After that, I grabbed a fresh change of clothes. I headed straight to the dorm showers to wash the day off. By 10:30 p.m., I was out with Sun Pengfei and a few others. We went to a KTV lounge in the heart of Kyoto. Our class representative was the one who organized the whole thing. Military training is finally over, and our vacation starts tomorrow. Tonight, we drink until we drop. In the middle of the party, I stepped out to find a restroom. But after wandering around for a bit, I couldn't find one. Right then, a group of men and women appeared. They came sprinting out from the hallway next to me. I wondered what was going on. They were moving fast. Following my instinct to avoid trouble, I immediately prepared to slip away. But at that exact moment, several men's voices started shouting in my ear. Stop right there. Don't you dare run. I turned around and saw several men chasing after me at full speed. I tried to retreat even faster, but I didn't even make it 2 steps. One of the guys chasing me grabbed me right by the collar. Don't move, pal. Is there a problem? I'm a police officer. Now, get back to the private room quietly. Then, we're taking you all to the station. What did I even do? Who are you people? Who are we? Don't you already know? Why are you arresting me? I haven't done anything. I'm innocent. Everyone we catch says they're innocent. If you really are, then don't worry about it. Innocent? Then why were you running? Stop talking nonsense and get back inside. With that, the man dragged me back into one of the private lounges. Inside the dimly lit room, 7 or 8 men and women were already crouching on the floor. More people who had been caught outside kept being shoved into the room after me. Officer, I'm serious. I'm not with these people. I just came here to sing with my friends. If you don't believe me, I can call them right now to prove it. Fine, make the call. He looked at me and started comparing my face to the other people in the lounge, nodding slowly to himself. I felt a secret surge of relief. I quickly pulled out my phone. I dialed the number from my dorm group chat, but the music back in our room was probably too loud, blaring through the speakers of the KTV lounge. Or maybe they were just too busy drinking and celebrating. No one picked up the phone. Do you remember the room number? The officer asked. I forgot to check. I realized then that I didn't actually know the room number myself. Fine, just stay here quietly for now. We're heading back to the station soon. If you're clean, you can leave. Our station isn't far. Just have your friends pick you up. Have my friends pick me up? My eyes lit up as I considered the idea. Suddenly, the door to the lounge swung open. Two men dressed in black casual clothes walked straight toward the plainclothes police. They reached into their jackets and pulled out their IDs. Officer, we can vouch for him. He definitely doesn't belong in this room. However, we are the ones who need to take this person with us. And you are? The officer took the IDs and flipped on the main room lights. As soon as he saw the credentials clearly, his expression turned dead serious. You're from the General Bureau of Security? Mr. Chu, we are here by orders from above to ensure your personal safety. I looked at them with immediate resentment, thinking, do I even know these two? The two agents looked at each other, appearing somewhat bewildered by my reaction. Just then, my phone buzzed. Sun Fei was calling from our original room. Third brother, why'd you call? It's nothing. Something just came up. You guys keep partying. Are you coming back later? He asked. Depends on how things go. Go on, get back to your business. The lounge fell into a heavy silence. The group crouching on the floor looked even more confused than before. Officer, I can vouch for this young man, one of the agents said. He really doesn't belong in this room. Let him go. And don't you get involved in this either, the officer snapped back. I rolled my eyes at the agent and turned to the officer in charge. Officer, after you take me in and process me, if I'm cleared, can I call someone to come pick me up? Yes, you can. Good. Then when do we leave? It's getting late. My school dorms will be locked soon, and the person coming for me won't be able to get out. Who are you even calling? The security bureau is here for you, yet you refuse to leave. What's the deal? My reason? Isn't it obvious? I'd rather be with the police than these mysterious agents. The corners of the security bureau agents' mouths twitched in annoyance. Fine, you too. Just stay by my side at all times then. The two agents exchanged a look, and one typed a message on his phone for me to read. Your identity was leaked online. We're here to stop foreign organizations from targeting you. For the time being, we will be right next to you for your own protection. Thanks. Must be a real hardship for you. Soon, the police gathered everyone up. They loaded us into the squad car, including me, the only volunteer in the group. My name was cleared instantly once the security bureau staff verified my credentials. The security cameras also proved that my arrest was a complete mistake. After giving a simple statement, everything was cleared up. The two agents from the security bureau vanished into the shadows. They were only responsible for my protection in secret. I checked the time on my phone. It was 11:20 p.m., only 40 minutes before the midnight curfew at the dorms. I grabbed my phone and sent a message to Lin Qingshui. Lin Qingshui, save me. As soon as the message was sent, she must have tensed up instantly. She replied with a single question mark. What's wrong with you? I've been arrested. I need someone to come bail me out. Chu Xiao, are you sick? She replied immediately after. Then, Lin Qingshui sent a 60-second voice message. I chose not to listen to it and just kept typing. Can't the others in your dorm rescue you? Why me? What is our relationship anyway? Their phones are off. I don't know what they're doing. For the sake of our old friendship, please come get me. You won't just let me rot here, right? Please, it was a mistake. I just need someone to sign the papers. I just needed a signature to be released. Half an hour later, Lin Qingshui walked into the police station where I was being held. Miss, how can I help you? The officer at the desk asked. Excuse me, do you have someone named Chu Xiao here? He was detained, and I'm here to bail him out. You're his girlfriend, right? Did you two have a little lover's spat? Hurry up and take your boyfriend home. He's not my boyfriend. But what do you mean? Hurry up and take him. Word about your boyfriend has already spread through the whole station. He was out with a group from his dorm, singing at a KTV bar. Our officers raided the place and arrested him by mistake, even though he proved his innocence on the spot. He insisted on staying and followed our investigators back to the station anyway. He said he was waiting for his friend to pick him up. Look, young couples fight all the time. Just take him home, give him a good scolding, and call it a day. Even married couples fight and make up by morning. It's clear your boyfriend just wanted an excuse to see you. Fine. I'm very sorry for the trouble he's caused you all. Guided by the duty officer, Lin Qingshui quickly found me sitting in the break room. The moment the officer left, her expression turned ice cold. She marched over to me and hissed, Chu Xiao, are you out of your mind? Didn't I say we were going our separate ways? Do you even know what that means? You call me from all the way across town just to get yelled at? This is pathetic. Why didn't you actually do something? You should have let them lock you up for a few days to clear your head. I looked at her and thought, even if they locked me up, it's better than you never seeing me again. I tilted my head up slightly, putting on my most pitiful, heartbroken expression. Lin Qingshui froze, then snapped. Don't you dare look at me with those pitiful eyes. Get up right now. Do you think I won't do it? I'll give you 1 second. I'll smack you so hard with a shovel you'll be checking if your medical insurance is still valid. I've already had my rabies shot, so don't think for a second I'm afraid of you. Right? You're not even afraid of ending up in a police station. What else is there to fear? If you've got so much guts, stop messaging me to come pick you up. Or do you want to stay here all night? I stood up in silence. I followed her out, hovering by her side like a scolded husband while she kept talking. Once we were outside the station, Lin Qingshui stopped and turned to face me. She looked up and asked if I was okay. I gave a small, quiet nod. Suddenly, my stomach let out a loud, traitorous growl. You're hungry, aren't you? Fine, let's go grab something to eat. Neither of us said a single word as we walked down the street, stopping occasionally. Eventually, we reached a busy intersection. We found a small barbecue joint and sat down to order a few random skewers. Lin Qingshui signaled the owner to bring over 2 cold drinks. She popped them open with a bottle opener and poured herself a glass. Then she poured one for me and said, "First, let's have a drink." I stared at the glass, remembering the doctor's orders from when I was discharged at sunset. For the next 2 days, you must stick to a light, bland diet. Avoid tobacco and alcohol. Do you understand? But a second later, I nodded without a hint of hesitation. I raised my glass and toasted with Lin Qingshui. I drained the entire glass in one gulp, feeling goosebumps break out across my skin. "I'm not doing anything," I muttered. "Then why do you keep staring?" she shot back. I couldn't help but stop her from making that pitiful face, so I quietly grabbed a skewer. It was a stick of roasted meat, and Lin Qingshui watched me intently as I ate. I took a couple of bites, the flavor hitting my tongue. I looked up at Lin Qingshui and asked, "Why aren't you eating?" "I'm waiting for you to apologize first," she replied coldly. "I'm sorry." Lin Qingshui arched her eyebrows at my bluntness. "I'm sorry for leaving 3 years ago without saying a word. I'm sorry for not answering your messages a few days ago. I'm sorry, that's about it. So, how do you plan to make it up to me?" "You said as long as I'm able to do it, I will." "It's simple. Tell me, where exactly did you go for these 3 years? Why did you disappear so suddenly? Why can't you just tell me?" It wasn't that I couldn't tell her. It was just, I don't want to talk about it. Lin Qingshui stood up immediately. "Fine, then I'm leaving first. Don't go." I reached out and grabbed her hand. I looked at her and said, "I'll tell you." Lin Qingshui stopped and looked back at me. "Thank you," she whispered. 3 years ago, my family had some issues, and I had to leave. And a few days ago, my phone just broke. I took it in for repairs, so I couldn't answer your messages. That's it. Fine, I believe you," Lin Qingshui said as she sat back down. She picked up a grilled skewer and started eating, making me sigh in relief. "So are we friends now?" "Of course, that's good." The two of us ate and chatted as the atmosphere gradually relaxed. By the time we finished the barbecue, it was already midnight. "Where do we go now?" I asked, realizing I had no idea. The student dorms were likely closed, so I suggested we go to a hotel. "What are you thinking?" "We'll book 2 rooms, okay?" The two of us walked toward a hotel entrance and stepped inside. "How can I help you?" the receptionist asked. "Hello, please book us 2 rooms." The man at the front desk looked down at our intertwined hands. He looked stunned and said reluctantly, "Right now, we only have luxury suites with 1 king bed. The rate is 400 plus a 200 deposit. Do you want it or not?" I looked at Lin Qingshui and suggested we try somewhere else, but she already had her phone out. She searched for nearby hotels and sighed. "There are no rooms available anywhere. Everything is full." She asked if the room had a sofa, and when he said yes, she told him to book it. "You're sleeping on the sofa tonight, and I'm taking the bed." "Got it." After checking in, the two of us headed up to the room. As soon as we walked through the door, we saw the center of the bed. It was decorated with a heart pattern made of rose petals, making Lin Qingshui's cheeks flush instantly. Panicked and embarrassed, she turned and fled. She ran into the bathroom, turned on the faucet, and splashed cold water on her face. "Lin Qingshui, you have to keep your composure," she whispered to herself. She decided she needed to clean up and clear her head. She started sweeping the rose petals off the bed and tossing them into the trash. Lin Qingshui stepped out of the bathroom and asked, "Don't you want to shower before bed?" I told her I had already showered before coming out, then asked, "What about you?" "I've already washed up too," she replied. "Then let's just sleep," she said, taking a deep breath as she sat on the edge of the mattress. She grabbed a pillow from the bed and threw it onto the sofa for me. "You're on the sofa tonight, and I'm on the bed." "Got it." It didn't matter to me, so I just nodded and lay down on the sofa. Right then, a strange, rhythmic thumping sound echoed from the floor above. Both of our faces stiffened instantly as the realization hit us. "Just turn off the light and let's go to sleep," she muttered. About 20 minutes passed before the noise upstairs finally started to fade. The moonlight was shining brightly through the window, illuminating the room. "Lin Qingshui, if you're supposed to be asleep, why is your voice shaking? You're a little cold, aren't you? Why don't you just come up here and sleep?" But there's a dividing line in the middle, and nobody is allowed to cross it. My eyes lit up instantly, and I didn't waste a second. I leaped off the sofa and climbed onto the bed. "You don't move, okay? Stay absolutely still on your side." The room fell into a heavy silence, leaving only the sound of our breathing. Half an hour later, I suddenly opened my eyes in the dark. I let my consciousness drift and entered the vault of eternal knowledge. Lin Qingshui had no idea my mind was currently miles away inside the vault. She stared at me for a long time, her eyes shimmering in the moonlight. She watched me closely, convinced that I was fast asleep. Seeing me so still, she finally let her guard down and relaxed. Then, she glared at me for no apparent reason at all. The next day, near noon, the sunlight streamed through the window and lit up the quilt. Suddenly, Lin Qingshui's phone started ringing loudly. "Who is it?" she muttered, reaching for her phone with pure impatience. "It's a call from the academy." "Qingshui, what's going on with you? It's almost noon already. And you still haven't made it back to school." "Noon?" Lin Qingshui suddenly felt a heavy weight pressing down on her. Chu Xiao, get off of me right now." She scrambled away, staring at me while I just lay there, half awake. I was still pinning her down, and she made it clear she didn't want me near her. She slapped me across the face. "Chu Xiao, you idiot. Qingshui, you didn't come home last night. Don't tell me." "Who? No one. I have things to do here. I'll explain everything later." 10 minutes later, I pointed to the side of my face where her handprint was visible. I blocked her path right at the bathroom door. My face is bright red. Aren't you going to take responsibility for this? Lin Qingshui froze, looking completely perplexed for a moment. She looked at my face and the mark that matched her hand perfectly. She couldn't help it and burst out laughing, stammering, I'm sorry. I was trying to hold it back, but I just couldn't. The way that handprint sat on my face was just too much. It looked absolutely ridiculous. I brushed past Lin Qingshui and stepped into the bathroom. I grabbed a fresh set of toiletries from the sink. I pulled out a toothbrush and squeezed some paste onto it. I filled a cup with water and told her, brush your teeth first, then we'll go grab lunch. After we eat, we'll head back to school together, but I need one more thing first. She looked at me suspiciously and asked, what else do you want? Go down to the supermarket and buy me a face mask. This slap mark isn't going away for hours, and I can't go out in public like this. She laughed and said, you're right, just wait here. I'll find you a mask that actually looks good on you. By the time Lin Qingshui got back, I was finished getting ready. I looked at the two black face masks she was holding in her hand. I asked her, why did you buy two? Isn't one enough? Lin Qingshui just pouted at me. She pulled one of the black masks over her own face. Then she held the other one out toward me. Because I felt like it. Now put it on. It should just barely cover the mark. The mark from that slap. I looked deep into Lin Qingshui's eyes. I took the mask from her and pulled it on. Then I asked her what she wanted for lunch. Don't say whatever, you're the one choosing. Actually, guess where I'm planning to take you? You guessed it, we're having hot pot. We stepped outside the hotel. The day was already in full swing. Lin Qingshui and I started walking. We made our way down the busy street. But behind us, two figures appeared in the shadows. The same two who tried to snatch Xiao Yu last night, security department agents. General, I understand. Don't worry, I'm on it. Even if it costs me my life, I'll protect her. What's the status? Did something happen? I just got word. Someone is tailing Xiao Yu, likely from the Pacific Zone. It's all because of those damn Lele fans. Why do they leak everything online? They're just making our lives harder. Going to school normally shouldn't have been an issue. But unexpectedly, her personal information was leaked. On top of that, China's breakthrough in 1-nanometer lithography technology has put us right in the eye of the storm. The higher-ups are acting fast to calm things down. But those foreign organizations would rather kill an innocent than take a risk. Lin Qingshui put on a black mask and handed me the other one. I found a simple hot pot restaurant and headed in with her. Once we finished our meal, we waited at the bus stop. We boarded the bus to head back to campus. Lin Qingshui immediately grabbed the window seat. Naturally, I sat down right next to her. I reached into my pocket and pulled out my phone. Then, I fished out a pair of wired earphones. I plugged them in and offered one side to Lin Qingshui. I asked her, want to listen to some music? Before she could even react, I leaned in close toward her. With a serious look on my face, I gently tucked the earbud into her left ear. With my face that close to hers, I could see her heart rate start to spike. She stammered. Why? Why are you getting so close? I shrugged and said, to put your earphones in. Why else? Why the left ear? I have a right one, you know. I settled back into my seat and teased. If it feels wrong in the left, should I switch it? Lin Qingshui just rolled her eyes at me. No need, she muttered. I know you're doing this on purpose. I changed the subject. The Mid-Autumn Festival is in a few days. Going home. I'm not going back, she sighed. It's only a 3-day break. The round trip is too much trouble. It's a shame, really. This would be her second Mid-Autumn Festival away from home since starting college. I could tell she really missed her hometown. She told me about the massive river in the center of her city. The currents there had piled up sand and stone over time, forming a small island. That island had become a major tourist attraction for the holidays. Every year, the local administration would put on a massive fireworks display over the water. But ever since she moved to Kyoto, she hadn't seen a single firework. The city has a strict ban on them. The Xianyuan Island Scenic District always has a show, but Kyoto is a concrete jungle. She looked out the window, her eyes reflecting a quiet longing. Do you really want to see them that badly? I asked. Thinking back, I hadn't seen a real display since I joined the Academy of Painting either. After leaving Hunan, I haven't seen the fireworks on Xianyuan Island in a long time either. Just a little, I guess, she said, but it's just a wish. Kyoto doesn't allow fireworks anyway. I smirked and replied, that's not a certainty. How would you know? She asked, tilting her head. Want to make a bet? What are the stakes? If there are fireworks on Mid-Autumn Festival, you give me a kiss. Deal. She raised an eyebrow. And if there aren't, then I'll give you a kiss. That way, you don't lose either. Lin Qingshui just rolled her eyes and said, I lose plenty. Only a fool would bet with you. After getting back to campus, I helped her pick up food for her roommates. Then, I walked her all the way back to her dorm building. When I finally got back to my own room, Su Pengfei and the others were still out. I pulled my phone out and opened an app with a unique, custom logo. The screen instantly turned a deep blue. It was a small piece of software I'd coded back at the research base. It scans for every signal source within a 20-meter radius. Once I confirmed there were no hidden cameras or bugs, I pulled out my secure phone. I dialed Wang Beimin, and he picked up almost immediately. The call connected instantly, and Wang Beimin's booming laugh filled the speaker. Old Wang, I'm planning to request a lab here at Kyoto University. I'll also need you to assign me some specific materials and equipment for some new ideas. I'll organize everything into a list and email it to you later today. By sunset, several olive green military trucks rolled onto the Kyoto University campus. They immediately drew stares from everyone passing by. The next day, I stood in the middle of my new, spacious laboratory. I looked at the precision instruments lined up across the room. I clapped my hands together to psych myself up. Time to start somewhere new, I muttered. Over in the girls' dorm, Lin Qingshui and her roommates had no morning classes. They skipped the lecture hall entirely, and Li Qian decided to sleep in. The other two roommates headed off to the school library to study. As for Lin Qingshui, she was busy monitoring the stock market. This was exactly why the professors at Kyoto University favored her so much. Her instincts in the field of finance were incredibly sharp. With only 1 year of university under her belt, she had already turned a 200,000 yuan family investment into 300,000 in profit. That's a return rate of nearly 100%. Actually, it was closer to 150%. But right then, a notification for a new email popped up on my computer screen. The moment Lin Qingshui saw the sender, her eyes widened. She froze for a second before frantically clicking the mouse to open it. It was an official email sent directly from Kyoto University's administration. She scanned the lines quickly, her breath catching in her throat. As she finished reading the contents, she let out a piercing scream of joy. No way, is this actually real? She gasped to the empty room. Professor Zhang was actually inviting her to join his fast-track master's and PhD program. He was a legendary figure in finance and a top-tier authority on national economics. The man had literally helped draft the country's financial laws and regulations. Getting into his inner circle was a dream she thought was years away. She had planned to spend months cramming just for a chance to take his entrance exam. But now, she was being offered a direct admission without having to take a single test. The moment she walked across the stage at her undergraduate graduation, she would transition straight into her doctoral studies under his wing. Trembling with excitement, she grabbed her phone to share the news. She pulled up our chat and typed out a message to me as fast as she could. Xiaoyu, Professor Zhang from our department just reached out. He wants me for his PhD program. He's the top expert in the entire country. Hearing the commotion, Li Qian rubbed her eyes and walked over to see what was happening. She looked at Lin Qingshui in shock and asked, Qingshui, is this the same Professor Zhang? The one you mentioned before? The one who said you were welcome to apply? In the Faculty of Economics and Management, every student knows his name. He's a titan in the field. There isn't a soul who hasn't heard of that old professor. Yes, call the other two and tell them to get back here right now. Lunch is on me today. We're all going out to celebrate. A week later, my phone started buzzing on the desk. I glanced down at the caller ID to see who it was. It was a call from Wang Peiming. I picked up and said, Old Wang, it's me. Did something happen? Under normal circumstances, Wang Peiming would never call me on his own initiative.